Hello again, everybody. Welcome to 4-Star Chicago Sports. And it is a morning Monday, but I think we should still be somewhat happy. Lean on the shoulder. Talk about it right after this.
Windy City banners rocking 4 stars aligned. Dynasty dreams rise, Bulls in their prime. Cubs curse shattered, the victory divine. Fields be running, clock ticking on my timeline. Shot-town heroes, legends never fade. Black Hawks flying, cutting ice with the blade. White Sox diamonds, the Southside parade. 4 stars shine bright, legacies they made. Mike with the crown, air rain, no dispute. Sweetness in the backfield, Walter in pursuit. Bear down Sunday's midfield, battles cute. Chicago.
Hello again, everybody. I got a smile on my face. How about you guys? I know losing sucks, and losing to the Packers sucks even more, but I still think there's some good things that came out of this ball game here yesterday. And I know, Dustin, I was a little drunk last night when we were
I could
talking.
tell. I could tell. Just trying to talk you off the ledge a little bit. Yeah. But no, I feel good, man. I really do. Sean, you and I talked about it on the pregame show yesterday. The Bears are, if they play this thing tight and they show they can compete with this team at Lambeau, a team that should be well ahead of them in terms of their Super Bowl window, their championship aspirations. The Bears should not be on their level, and the Bears were on their level and above it for half of that game yesterday.
And on top of that, I mean, maybe you guys agree or disagree, but I think that first half was one of their worst first halves of the season.
The worst. That was the shittiest they have played all season since
and
they
got
still
their
had
shit
a
the realistic shot late in that game. You know, that's the direction of the team, the coaching, the resilience, what they built. Clean up these mistakes because, guys, what we're sitting on here, it's not the end of the world. The Packers are going to Denver. That's not going to be no easy task. We should be able to beat Cleveland. So in 2 weeks, we should be sitting here playing off for the NFC North once again, right?
No guarantees on that. The Packers could go there and beat them. You know, I mean,
they could.
The Broncos are the best, worst team in the NFL right now in the way they've played, man. I keep saying that. So, like, there's no guarantees with any of these games, man. I was just happy that the Bears didn't give up and they played their asses off in that second half, and they showed what we expected going into that game. And if they had done that for a full 60 minutes, we'd be talking about a different story right now.
Yeah. I'll let one of you guys take it over. I was really disappointed in the game plan. I'm sure we're going to get into that. In the first half game plan, insanely disappointed because they put themselves in a position where they had to pass over run. If they started running the ball from the jump, you don't put yourself in that position. But obviously, when you get behind, you got to pass the fucking ball.
This is true.
Brandon?
Yeah, I think they had 47 runs against the Eagles, if you include Caleb's 5 or whatever it was, and they had 32 against the Packers, if you include Caleb's 4. So clearly didn't approach it the same way. When I thought we all kind of thought that was the obvious way to go, considering the Packers' interior defensive front isn't really all that well known for being run stuffers, especially after the trade. You know, they did get a Micah Parsons, but they lost to Clark. So I thought the Bears didn't utilize that enough. I thought on the very last drive, especially, man, when before the 4th down interception, on 1st down, they tried to throw to Loveland, and something was off between Caleb and Loveland because the ball wasn't anywhere near him. I think Caleb was trying to throw where he thought he was going to be. But run on that play. Run on the 1st and 10. Run on that play.
Run on the 4th and 1.
I was just going to say, run on the 4th and 1.
Yeah, but if you had run on the 1st and 10 and then the 2nd down ran again, you'd have had the 1st down. I assure you would have. The way that game was going, you'd have had the fucking 1st down. I can almost guarantee it. So, yeah, Sean, you said the game plan. I thought Dennis Allen and Ben Johnson made some mistakes, some grave mistakes in that game, just the same as our quarterback, but that's okay because, like Dustin said, they competed anyways, and when they came out in the second half, they showed the Packers, like, shut the fuck up. And I thought the offensive line, guys, was like white and black.
Man, check in right here.
I thought it was like white and black, that offensive line. I mean, they came out in the second half and just were not messing around anymore, man. So that was good to see because I was like, oh, was this all fluke? The progression this line has made. And they picked it back up.
Yeah, I never.
But Rome hurt, man. It hurt not having Rome. I felt that, especially in a game that you were going to pass heavy like they did. I thought it was an interesting choice. Zacchaeus had that phenomenal catch, and what a throw by Caleb. There was a lot of good there, guys. A lot of good. And people are talking about, oh, they dropped so far in the rankings because of this loss. Well, guys, if they beat the Browns, they're going to crawl up like 4 spots. So let's everybody relax. One of the Bears writers wrote playoffs are looking murky. Like, relax.
Yeah, we still got some games left to play here.
Let's move to the next one.
Absolutely.
But I thought the same as you guys. I thought that it was the game you thought you wanted the Bears to play if they did lose. They competed their ass off. Caleb looked pretty darn good in the fourth up until the mistake. He's not going to win every game-winning drive, guys.
Yeah, but in typical fashion, he blows it against the Packers. I'm not going to get off of that. I said it all last week. When the Bears are rolling, it just goes wrong against Green Bay. I guarantee
Green Bay's a good football team.
30 teams on that football field. He makes that throw, and the Bears win that game. It's the fucking Packers, man.
Listen, we're bouncing around.
Cronin posted an elaborate. That was the same exact play call against Phil. Like,
it looked like
shit. Who do you think your readers are, man? Like, it was like, oh, was it? That was this, like, Jesus Christ. I don't know why that annoyed me.
They had run that same exact play earlier in the game, too.
It annoyed me reading
side of the field
for some reason.
It didn't make, if we're talking about the last play or if we're talking about the first half versus the second half, that last play, it didn't make sense to me in terms of, that's on tape so recently as a successful play that you had against Philly. The Packers clearly had a key on it. But, I mean, it was still there. Caleb held the ball too long. He didn't make the throw. Cole Kmet was wide open. He made the right read. So there's that.
The right read. He just didn't get it.
He didn't get there in time. He held on to the ball too long. He waited too long to make that throw.
Behind.
Yep.
A tick sooner.
And they should have ran the damn ball.
When you're talking about running the damn ball, listen, the first half, 13 attempts for 48 yards for the Bears, 3.69 yards per attempt. Second half, 19 attempts for 90 yards, 4.73 yards per attempt. Now, I don't know how Kyle feels about this, but in the first half, they threw it 14 times. They ran it 13 times. I would have preferred to see run it 18 times, throw it 9 times, run it 17. And it was not just about, like, they ran it at a pretty and threw it at a pretty even split. It's like the rhythm of it. Like you said, Sean, you got behind the sticks. Yep. You put yourselves in positions with, when you chose to run it, and then you got behind and you were in positions where you had to throw it against a pass rush defense that was teeing off on you. And the offensive line was not up to the task in that first half. So I just thought that the way that he called the game, the intentionality with how they went to run the ball didn't make sense until the second half. In the first half, it wasn't there. When you look at the stats, it's like, okay, they ran it 13 times, but it didn't feel like they ran it 13 times. It felt like they were just constantly having to pass on key downs. And I think that put the Bears behind.
What's going on, Kyle? We got to hear from you, bro. Talk to us, man.
I don't know, man. I mean, it was a well-fought game by the Bears. It's not the most disappointing thing in the world, but there are things in this game that are disappointing. Ben Johnson talked about the week leading up to this game that they were going to work on the pass game. It didn't look any better to me. It still looks very inconsistent. They still are going to have to try to win in spite of the passing game until it gets better, especially in the first half, like you guys talked about, which is not good. It seemed like Kyle Mononga was doing a good job beating up that Packers defensive line, and then all of a sudden they'd throw the ball 3 or 4 times in a row with very strange play calling by Ben Johnson. I don't think that's what anybody was expecting from Ben Johnson out of the gate.
Yeah, the rhythm was weird. The rhythm of the play
very clunky as it's been. Yeah. And I like what Bruce brought up in the chat here. I mean, when they announced that Kyler Gordon was going to miss this game, I knew that was going to be a tough loss for the Chicago Bears. You guys, Jordan Love was 7 for 7 for 140 yards and 3 touchdowns against 2 players out of the slot against C.J. Gardner-Johnson. If Kyler Gordon's playing that game, those numbers are not the same. And on top of that, I understand that the Bears like Jaquan Brisker. I understand that he's got to be on the field, but you got to try to find a way to get him out of coverage. He's just not good at coverage. There's no way about it. Jaquan Brisker does not belong running down the field with tight ends.
C.J. Gardner-Johnson had a rough day, dude.
Yeah, not just running up on the Bo Melton touchdown. He's running down the field with one of the fastest players on the field. And Jaquan Brisker took a terrible angle there. Like, he can't be the one guy there. And Jalen Johnson blew that coverage on that one.
I was going to say.
Brisker.
Oh, and then on the Christian Watson
was out of position a lot yesterday.
The Christian Watson touchdown, in which Brisker was covering Christian Watson, he gave him 16 yards of space off the line of scrimmage. Like, dude,
Kevin Byard.
Brisker, what are you doing?
Brisker let up the one to Melton. It was Byard on Watson. It was C.J. Gardner on Watson.
Either way, they just weren't good. They were out of position. Their defense did not look good. The Bears defense. They didn't have a good pass rush. Love was comfortable.
They don't play press in the pocket.
They just didn't. The Bears, all the things we've been talking about that the Bears have had struggles with the entire season, showed up in that game, and that's why they lost the game. Their passing game was inconsistent. Too many missed open receivers. They didn't get DJ Moore involved in any way, shape, or form. The guy had one catch for -4 yards. -4 yards. DJ Moore,
three targets.
The wide receiver you just signed to a $110 million contract extension, had one catch for -4 yards. I mean, there's just
what's up, Dante? Camel toe.
Seems like here we are in December,
on,
and the Bears are still trying to figure this thing out. And I understand maybe sometimes it takes longer than a year, and I do think the Bears are going to get better, but it was a tough fought battle. It was nothing to be ashamed of. The Bears went into Green Bay, gave them a hell of a fight, but it is heartbreaking the way the game ended because Cole Kmet was open, and the Bears should have scored a touchdown.
Yeah, Caleb blew it on that. He's got to take that on the chin, man. You know what?
He's not going to win them all, man.
I know, and I think that's one of those moments you look back on in a successful career. All these greats have those moments where they fail. You know, you got to fail to succeed. Like, that's just life. And I think that's going to be a moment we look back on with Caleb and say, remember when he had that chance and he didn't do it? Well, now he had the chance and he did do it, and he's gotten over that hump. You know, that's just part of the progression of a career in any major sport or anything that you're doing. And I mean, this is year one with Ben Johnson, and the Bears took those fuckers down to the wire, and they had that defense gas. That defense wanted no more part of the fucking game, the way that offensive line was beating the shit out of them. And that's why when Brandon says I would have run, I agree. And I would have run on 4th and 1 just because they were imposing their will. Yes, it was.
They looked just the same as they did against Philly in the second half of that package.
Enagbari actually won that game.
They are good.
That was the play of the game, Kyle. That was the play of the game.
Tackling Kyle Monongai on 3rd down and not letting him get that first down by Enagbari.
Shot out like a cannon.
Well, the play of the game might be Montez Sweat not putting Josh Jacobs on his ass on a pretty clean look.
Montez Sweat, a host of other Chicago Bears.
Montez Sweat, Javon Dexter, Jalen Johnson.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that play with Javon Dexter at the goal line.
Javon Dexter,
where he got turned around at the goal line, where Jacobs ran like the 1-yard touchdown, and he's turned around and he's got his arms spread. He looks like Hodor from Game of Thrones, trying to give Brad time to escape. And he just gets bent over in half and run completely. Josh Jacobs might as well have slapped him on the ass on the way over him, dude. Like, what the hell?
Javon Dexter on that play you were talking about, that 3rd and 1, where
his
Jacobs
rush
broke
defense.
They had it bottled up, and Jacobs broke all those tackles. Javon Dexter dove his fat ass in there and pushed Jacobs forward. He made that play. You know, Javon Dexter made a lot of poor decisions and did not make a lot of good plays in this game, man. He had a tough one, which is unfortunate.
I honestly think the defense as a whole just
we're bad.
And
they were terrible. This was the worst it's ever looked.
To touch on what Kyle said, I thought that the secondary, every member of the secondary was just a tick slower than every one of those speedy wide receivers. Getting Jaden Reed back in this game for the Packers turned out to be huge because that guy absolutely killed the Bears yesterday. It was a frustrating day for sure, you know, but there were, like we talked about, there are some legit positive signs that came out of this, you know, and when you look at Caleb, he went 14 for 22 for 144 with 2 touchdowns using play action, but he was 5 for 13 for 42 yards as a drop back passer. That obviously has to get a lot better. He was 1 for 7 for 2 yards in the first quarter. He did improve, obviously, going into the second half. From that start of 1 and 7, he went 13 for 21 for 154 with 2 touchdowns. And he went the entire second half without getting a sack. And I really, really thought
only 1 sack in this game, Sean.
I was going to say, not only not being sacked in the second half, I thought that the Bears, and I thought this was a key to the game, was neutralizing Micah Parsons, and I thought the Bears actually did a pretty good job with that yesterday. I mean,
he had 7 hurries. He had 7 hurries in that game. And when Caleb got out, he was on Caleb's ass every time. When Caleb usually can get out there and make something happen, Micah Parsons shut that down a few times. But I mean, as you said, man, Caleb first half 6 of 14 for 32 yards, 2.2 yards per attempt. 43% completion. In the second half, 13 of 21, 154 yards, 7.3 yards per attempt, 62% completion. And then if you look at his overall numbers, Sean, 19 of 35, but he had 3 throwaways. You take those away, that's 19 of 32, and you're looking at a 59-60% completion. He played a pretty damn good game. The second half was great, was fucking great. That throw to Zacchaeus, like Brandon said, the throw to Duvernay to get them down the
throw
field.
to Kmet.
The throw to Komet down the sideline.
On the boundary. That throw to Komet was
Caleb
nuts.
was in his bag. And as you said, he wasn't getting sacked. He was doing the Houdini shit against this vaunted Packers pass rush. So I don't want to take too much away from Caleb. That offense in general in the first half just sucked ass. It sucked ass. And when you don't establish the run, you don't get the play action, which they ran more than any team in the NFL has this year in that game. At 61% of their passes were play action passes. And it started to work when they were respecting the run and they were gassed.
And I'll
Caleb
say this,
got put in a better situation.
What Brandon said coming into the season, I think is going to be the ultimate downfall for the Chicago Bears in 2025. It's going to be that defensive line. They have to spend this first round pick on an absolute fucking killer. They have no choice. They have to either D-tackle or an edge. They have to.
The pass rush in the biggest moments of that game when you had 11, 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 11, he just sat back there with nothing, man. No pressure, no hurry, no nothing. Just sitting back there. That's how you. And I think it's worth noting, guys, that there's something which obviously something we probably already kind of knew, but more aware of it after this game. The Bears win on defense because they take the ball away, which they did in that game. But if the Bears offense doesn't score off of the takeaway, it doesn't make a fucking difference in the game. It does nothing.
When they didn't score off,
it does nothing. It stops the Packers once from scoring.
You guys realize now this year we're one
but
and 4.
You gotta get points on guys when they punted on that drive after the pick. Okay, he had like a 59-yard field goal, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked
about
any
other team in the NFL is attempting that kick. Except for the Bears.
Well, Brandon, one thing to point out in regards to that, you saw both kickers fuck up on kickoff when they're trying to put a lot of power into that ball. The weather certainly had an impact on that. I think that played into it. But yeah, obviously Santos don't have the leg for it on top of those weather conditions. I was
going to say, like, if you have Aubrey, he doesn't give a shit about the weather. He's kicking a 60
but only one team has Aubrey, Brandon. Only one team has Aubrey. Nobody else has him. You can talk about Cam Little in Jacksonville or Dicker and
Justin, I would say majority of kickers in the NFL, 60-yarder majority.
In that weather, it's tough, man. It's a little
75% of kickers at least in the league.
That's all I'm saying. But yes, when they
didn't get any,
when they could not move the ball after that turnover, after that interception, which Bruce said was awesome. I didn't think it was really that awesome. I think Jordan Love kind of just threw it right to CJ Gardner-Johnson. It was a fucking terrible throw.
Yeah, guys, this comment here, Kyler Gordon, game time, pre-game warm-up injury.
It can't be overstated, Brandon. How
Ben Johnson did talk about that today.
Right, yeah, and it can't be overstated.
It's the exact same injury that he's had all year.
It's a groin.
The groin?
It's a problem.
I thought Jalen Johnson's groin was the problem. I thought Kyler Gordon had
his press
soft
conference
tissue.
Today. It's been the lingering soft tissue injury, and he can't seem to get over the hump. That's what he said. He said in his press conference. When
you have an injury, let me make this point, guys. When you have an injury during the week that you're aware of, that's a whole different story. You got guys to come pick that 100%. Up. You got a game plan around those guys. When you go into warmups and you lose a guy who takes your defense from being 28th most successful to 4th most successful, and you lose them an hour before the game, and you got no one to replace them, no game plan for it. It cannot be overstated what a huge impact that made on this game, especially when you consider how fucking terribly CJ Gardner-Johnson played, guys. It cannot be.
I don't know about that, Laz. I don't know about that, Laz.
What's Laz saying?
He said better sign Nahshon Wright, better season than Jalen Johnson has ever had.
No, you're looking at one stat.
You're looking at one stat.
Yeah, better at taking the ball away. Better at taking the ball away for sure. If that's where you're going.
Yeah, because they actually throw it at Nahshon Wright.
Not better at completion percentage ever.
I mean, like I said, man, Kyler Gordon not being there, huge fucking deal, especially in the way that it happened. If they had known about it, it's a totally different thing, and I think they're more prepared. But that was just a huge blow going into that game, and it swung the game in a big way. Yeah. But I mean, Jalen Johnson, if we're talking about him, as was pointed out in the chat, and as I said earlier, he was out of position a lot. There were times where Tom Brady was pointed out, like if he's not going to blitz there, then he needs to drop back in coverage. He kind of just stayed in one little spot, on that Brisker touchdown, where Brisker got beat by Melton. Jalen Johnson's supposed to drop back and cover that area of the field. Like, he missed a lot of assignments in that game and was out of position. And just you got to attribute it to rust and not enough experience in Dennis Allen's defense right now. But it kind of fucking sucks. It's like this guy's got to figure it out. but at the expense of giving up big fucking plays like that, that's tough, man. That's tough.
Kyle, where did you think the Bears lost on the defensive side of the football?
On the defensive side of the football?
Yeah.
Everywhere.
I mean, coverage. We couldn't cover anybody. I just said Jordan Love was 7 for 7 for 140 yards and 3 touchdowns to receivers in the slot. That's not acceptable. That means that he did not. That means if the Packers were thrown to the receivers in the slot all game, he would have been 20 for 20 for 500 yards.
Kyler Gordon the difference?
I mean, that's a huge loss for the Chicago Bears. But like I said, guys, Justin mentioned this pre-week and before the game. You couldn't get off to a slow start. Jordan Love was what I think, with that, with the exception of the one interception, he was like 9 for 10 for 160 yards and a touchdown. And Caleb at that point was like 2 for 12 for 32 yards. You can't have a first quarter like that. You cannot absolutely cannot have a first quarter like that.
And I thought
the Bears got off to the slowest start they've had all season, and then finally you start running Monangai, and this guy's running into people in the middle of the pile, and paint chips are coming off their helmets, and then the Bears just abandon the run again. They just abandoned the run again.
He killed Cooper.
Oh god,
that hit was tremendous.
I love Kyle Monangai so much. Listen, man,
he's pounding down this defensive line.
He's
wearing them out, and then all of a sudden
DeAndre
Swift starts finding open space, and the Bears abandon the run again. It's like,
I hope I never say this again. Colston Loveland ruined an entire drive in that football game, which broke my heart. It really did. Again? Colston Loveland ruined a whole drive.
With the penalty.
He dropped the pass, and then right after that, he got a legal formation.
Yeah.
And that drive was shot, and it was like, dude.
So did Ben Johnson. I don't know if you guys remember the drive. I think it was early in the third quarter. It was definitely in the third quarter, second half for sure, where they threw the ball to, I think it was Cole Kmet, and he was wide open. There was nobody on the screen. He was wide open. And then later on that drive, they threw the ball to Luther Burden, who did that little curl route, and he was also wide open. And then right after those two huge plays where the Packers secondary was leaving guys wide open downfield, the Bears throw that screen pass to DJ Moore that gets blown up for -4 yards. Like, Ben, what do you do if listen? I understand that you got to get creative at times of the game, but if these guys, on this drive, if these guys are just wide open, consistently wide open downfield, why are you starting to throw behind the line of scrimmage again? What are you doing, man? Like, keep throwing the ball downfield until they prove they can stop you from throwing the ball downfield. And in the third quarter, they couldn't stop Caleb Williams if you put a gun to their heads. And then Ben Johnson started stopping Caleb Williams himself.
I think they should have run until they. I think they should have run until they showed that they could stop them, which they never did. And you're talking about the adjustments, and Brandon asked about the defense. So I wanted to talk about that. Stay on subject for 1 second, because the adjustments were a problem on both sides of the ball with these coaches. Me and Sean talked about it last night. When you talk about the defensive issues that the Bears had, Dennis Allen kept blitzing because the fucking defensive line could not generate pressure, and we all knew that going into the game, right? But Jordan Love was tearing the blitz apart, and when you couldn't leave him in man coverage,
he's really good against the blitz.
You had to just stop. Once they stopped, and it took a while. It took until the second half for them to figure this shit out. But once they stopped and just rushed forward and got safeties over the top and had match coverage, they were able to get some 3 and outs on the Packers. It worked, but he hung on to that blitz too much, and Jordan Love carved it apart. The other thing with the defense, man, that was a huge issue to me, which I think was the biggest issue, because it's an issue I have not seen from this team all year, was the piss poor tackling. I've never seen the Bears whiff on so many tackles in a game this season, and I thought that was the difference in the game, because there were a few times where Dennis Allen, as rough of a game as he had these plays pegged, and he had these guys in position, and they just missed tackles. Trying to arm tackle Josh Jacobs is fucking stupid.
Yeah, Gardner Johnson's attempt to tackle
TJ Edwards
throwing yourself on the ground without wrapping up, trying to throw yourself at their knee,
shooting for his knee, and he doesn't even touch him. Like, you don't.
That happens so many times with multiple players in this game on this Bears defense, and I was just very disappointed with that. When you see tackling be such an issue, that's always disappointing to me, especially when you haven't seen it all year. And I thought that was the difference in the game for this defense, to be honest, because there were multiple drives that should have been stopped that kept going because of those missed tackles.
100%.
I thought Jalen and Edwards both looked rusty
in the backfield on third down. They could have had
with
Josh
Montez Sweat, Javon Dexter, Jalen Johnson. That was just terrible.
We didn't say the Bears were averaging 6 yards per carry in the first half. We said they were averaging 3.9.
The Bears.
No, somebody in the chat might have said that.
The Bears were averaging 3.7.
You said 4.6 in the second half, right?
4.7 in the second half.
Both Kyle Monangai and DeAndre Swift finished with over 4 yards per carry average. Both of them. The Bears should have run the ball. I think that's all what we thought they were going to do. I think that's what we're like. They're going to do the same thing to the Green Bay Packers that they did to the Eagles, and they're going to say, "Hey, this is exactly what we're going to do. You guys know the game plan. Now stop it. Let's see you stop it." And they weren't. They weren't stopping it. The Bears were ripping off 4, 5, 6 yards at a time in the run game, especially when Kyle Benung guys started to soften that defense up a little bit. Then DeAndre Swift started to find some open space. And then the Bears just decided to abandon the run themselves. The Packers didn't have to stop it. The Bears
shot themselves in the foot.
Ben got beat
repeatedly.
They did.
Repeatedly.
Our head coach got beat for the first time in a lot of weeks.
And
that's okay because he's a rookie.
No, Carl, you're 100% correct. In the second half,
I think,
the Bears were running the ball well.
I firmly believe when Green Bay comes to Chicago, Ben Johnson's going to have. This is personal. No, I don't know if you guys saw the handshake.
How'd you like that handshake at the end of the game?
That's why I put the picture on the thumbnail. I know it's blurry, Dustin, but like that handshake,
like shit.
That handshake says so much about what's going to happen in 2 weeks from now.
He was asked about that.
Really
he was
does.
asked about that in his press conference today, and he said that's the exact same handshake I give to every head coach at the end of the game.
No, it's
like
not.
bullshit.
No, it's not.
Bullshit.
And did you hear LaFleur? Did you hear LaFleur? No, it wasn't personal. It's got nothing to do with Ben Johnson or anything he said. It was just, it's just a Bears
personal as fuck, dude.
Yeah, but Matt LaFleur was very. They said he's like, I got nothing against Ben Johnson.
No, I don't. I'm not saying he's disrespectful. He was trying to play it off like he wasn't happy to beat Ben Johnson personally. And come on,
I think he was happy to
get
beat
the
Bears.
fuck out of here, dude.
I think they were happy to beat the Bears, man.
We're talking about.
He was happy to beat Ben Johnson.
100%, and he should be because Ben Johnson.
Of course, he's happy. That's why I say he is.
He's happy to beat every coach that he beats.
Yeah,
he called his name out, dude.
Plain and simple, the Bears have to have answers in 2 weeks, and they have to get a split.
100%. And that's kind of what we all expected. You know, I really did believe the Bears could win this game, and I think I know we all did. And the Bears showed that they could have, and they probably should have. We can keep saying, though, that the Bears shot themselves in the foot. Let's give some props to the Packers defense because the Bears offense didn't just come out and decide to suck. That Packers defense played maybe the best game that they've played all year from what I have seen. Their discipline was amazing. We talked, Sean, a lot about the misdirection, using their speed against them, the screen pass, using their aggression against them. They didn't bite on shit, Sean. They were completely disciplined that entire game, and they were very good.
They actually played. They played the Packers defense played well against the Browns, against the Panthers, against the Eagles. They've been damn good for the better half.
But I'm saying that in terms of their discipline and not biting on end arounds and not biting on the fakes and then being on top of those disciplined at the line of scrimmage. They were fucking awesome in that game. That, in my opinion, I think that was the best defensive game that team has played in a while that I have watched in terms of that. And I just want to give them props for that because that's a big reason that offense stalled out in the first half, guys.
Yeah, and real quick, guys, people in the chat keep insinuating that I think they're insinuating that we thought that it was a bad play call on fourth down. Now, listen, I prefer they run the ball, but the play call wasn't terrible. It's the same play they ran in Philly, and Cole Kmet was open. So the play call worked. It was just the execution.
Yeah, Caleb fucked up, guys. Caleb fucked up, and he's been it's
not the end of the world. Dustin's right. That's a good learning point for Caleb Williams. You have the only way you can pick yourself back up is if you fall, and he will do that. But it was just heartbreaking because it was the Green Bay Packers.
And exactly though, man. Exactly, and you have to have some perspective here. Caleb has been Iceman in the fourth quarter, and he made a mistake against the team that matters most. I mean, there's a lot of pressure there. And he folded, and that's okay.
Let me ask you guys a
question. It's okay that Caleb does that every once in a while. It's going to happen.
Every quarterback.
Let me ask you a question real quick before we move on, guys. Ben Johnson made it quite clear that if the Bears had scored that touchdown, he was going to go for 2 points and go for the win. Do you agree with that?
I was saying go for 2 that entire fucking time.
I said it at the ball last night.
There's a couple of things to talk about with this. We're talking about this play. We're talking about this fourth down play, and Romy says run it, and if you don't get it, you don't get it. I think they would have gotten it the way they were really dominating the line of scrimmage in that second half.
They would have.
And then there's a lot of people talking about DJ was open. DJ wasn't open until Caleb was already throwing the ball to Cole Kmet. DJ wasn't even a read on that play. DJ was jogging
too, wasn't he?
DJ was jogging. No, he was fine. He would have jogged into the end zone probably the way that. But like Caleb was
short of the first down.
No. Caleb's first read was to run to the edge for the first down. Second read was DeAndre Swift. Third read, Cole Kmet. That was the same exact play, like we said, last week in Philly, and they ran it in that game earlier, and Caleb took off and got the first down on a 4th and 1, I believe. So, I mean, that play works because it gives you so much optionality, and you got Caleb's legs.
Can I say
DJ
this?
Moore was not an option there. Cole Kmet was the read.
Carl's agreeing with you here.
Made the right read, and he just threw it too fucking late. He threw it too late.
Carl's saying here, Nixon was on DJ Moore. Nixon released off of him to
go to Cole Kmet.
Yeah.
But DJ Moore is 6 yards behind Caleb Williams while he's running to his left. So he's going to turn back right. There was all that congestion in there already, and it didn't clear up until he was.
Yeah, people think. I mean, it's so easy to say this or that when you're watching it, man. It's so easy to say.
The only thing I will complain
Johnson clarified that was the reads, guys.
The only thing I will
DJ was not an option there.
The only thing I will complain about is if you're going to make it a design to move the pocket and get Caleb Williams out of the pocket and give him a chance to run for the first down, why aren't you running to his strong side? Like run to the right where he doesn't have to turn his hips to make a throw.
Well, that's a good point, but also
that was part of the reason he short-handed that throw is because he didn't get to fully turn his hips because he thought he was going to get hit. So he just
but also the defense expects that more, and also I mean,
and I'm not saying do it every time. I'm not saying do it every time, but that Micah Parsons was on the left side of the line, and you're running right at him. I'm like, guys, go to the other side of the line
last week
and give Caleb a more comfortable throw on a fourth down.
They just ran it left last week. The Packers might not have expected to roll that.
Luke here.
It's a good point.
There's a massive gap. You're talking about a second-year quarterback versus what, sixth or seventh-year quarterback in Jordan Love. There should be
a guy who's had Matt LaFleur and the guy who had Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers for 4 years.
Right.
That's not even close to a fair comparison.
The other thing to talk about
what are we discussing there?
It's just a comment in the chat. He was talking about the gap.
He just said there's a massive gap, and everyone acts like
it's like duh.
It should be a massive gap.
It's called progression. It's called development. It's called learning experience. Like there's a lot of reasons
as age.
Yeah, but the other thing to talk about, guys, with that last drive and that last play, if you want to go there, but like I was totally on board with the way Ben Johnson was running that clock too. I think they did that shit perfectly. I was on board with that the entire time while it was happening. Yeah. Because like you cannot give that explosive. That offense was living off of explosives.
I was actually
give them the ball back with any time.
I was actually surprised that
perfect sense.
I was surprised Matt LaFleur wasn't calling timeouts. I was really surprised.
It shows you that he wasn't really confident, maybe that they would get the score. That's what I started thinking about too.
For Matt LaFleur, in the back of his head, he's like, if these guys score, we're going to overtime.
I just can't believe you don't give Ben Johnson. You don't give Kyle Monangai the football 3 times in a row and say, go get that first down, dude. Go get me that first down. And say that to Kyle Monangai. Go get me that first down, dude. And he's going to get it. I would have gone that way 100%. I don't get it. Doesn't make sense.
And I think we all would have run the football there and then called another time. Now you're down to 1. You got a couple of you only had 28. So you would have had 27 seconds left, man. You're not going to run it anymore after that, but run it to get that first down.
That's what I mean. The first down,
that 4th and 1. But I mean, were you on board with the way the Bears milked that clock at the end?
Yes.
I didn't want the Packers to have any time left. I wanted the first half. I wanted guys. I didn't even want overtime. I wanted a 2-point. I wanted the Bears
conversion.
I wanted them to go for it because if you lose that way, so be it, man. You got aggressive.
Yeah.
This isn't a Super Bowl,
but
it's not a playoff game.
If you get it, and you have Caleb Williams, who is a dual threat guy, which it gives you a lot better opportunity to actually score on a 2-point conversion than the game's over.
If you win the game in that fashion, that's a
big fuck you. Yeah. Now we're
in
the
your
ones
house.
We're the ones with the egg on our face today. The Bears lost. That's the reality of it. It is okay.
I don't have any egg on my face because the Bears were 4-1 underdogs in Vegas.
Yeah.
Everybody in the country thought the Packers were going to win this game.
Packers fans thought the Packers were going to beat the shit out of the Bears.
We don't have an egg on our face. Their ESPN guys are out there saying like, "Oh, the Bears are a joke. This is a laughable team. The Packers are going to come out here and murder these guys." Like
they did the fucking stupid belt to ass thing.
What are you talking about?
Listen, let me read some stats here that kind of suggest that the Bears dominated this game in the fashion that they actually did. Time of possession for the Bears, 33 minutes, 29 seconds. The Packers, 26 minutes, 31 seconds. Total yards, 315 for the Bears, 337 for the Packers. Passing, 177 for the Bears, 220 for the Packers. Rushing, Bears 138, Packers 117. The Bears had 21 first downs. The Packers only had 17. The Packers had a lot of explosives, though. So that's
too many explosives. That's part of the time of possession.
Yeah, exactly. But penalties, Bears 4, Pack 6. Sacks allowed 1-1 for each. Turnovers 1-1 for each. Total plays, the Bears had 68. The Pack had 52. That's a big fucking gap in total plays. But
this
again,
game.
those explosives
They
kind of
should've
lend
won this
themselves to that. But the Bears dominated this game in a lot of facets in that second half. It wasn't even fucking close. And as we said, that Packers defense was done. They were just on the field the entire second half. If the Bears had just come out with that mentality and that game plan in the first half, I think we're looking at a very different result. I think the result is okay and we can swallow it because the Bears shouldn't have been favored or shouldn't have been thought of to have a chance against that Packers team, considering where the Packers are and where the Bears are. But now the Bears have shown people we belong in this conversation too. So I do think it's okay. Egg on our face was a little bit of a in jest.
Sean hit the nail on the head, man. I mean, this team cannot establish a pass rush. They can't generate pass rush. That's the difference. That is the difference. If you have a player on your side of the football that's wreaking havoc, this is a different football game. Jordan Love, when it mattered most, third down and long, when the Bears needed to apply pressure. Mikey, you're in here, relentless Mikey. I looked at the guy probably 15 times and said to him, somebody's got to get home now. And it never happened once. Like it was a repetitive statement. They got to get home. Got to get home. Nobody did it. I thought the one sack, I think Montez Sweat did have a sack, right? Didn't he? He chased Jordan Love down. I thought that was a great play.
Brady Jarrett had a big impact on that play.
And that was a huge play.
On that play.
The impact that play had by Montez Sweat, if you're doing that at a higher level, man, you're just a better football team. And the Bears can't do it. And I'm sorry. I like the kid. He's progressing. But Austin Booker is not getting home.
Austin Booker had a damn good game, man. If
he's not getting home, Dustin. That's what matters. We talked about
it. Austin Booker got pressure multiple times in that second half. I mean, right after you said he wasn't having a good game, he made 2 huge plays in a row.
You got to get home, man.
Austin Booker has been playing well, man. I'm not going to say like he's just not developing. I think he's getting better every week.
Yeah, there was a player who was available in the offseason that has 21 sacks.
I don't know how available he ever was, Brandon, but yes, obviously Myles Garrett is
you know what solves your problem? Else. How about the 11 sacks that Sweat has for the Arizona Cardinals? The Bears had a fair shot at him.
Yeah, 20.
Calais Campbell on Arizona.
You can't play the Myles Garrett, Max Crosby.
There you go, Sean. There's another answer.
If you traded for Myles Garrett, you would either A, not have that offensive line because you'd have to give him to a $140 million contract, and B, you would have lost half your draft. So you also wouldn't have Colson Loveland and Luther Burden. So it's not easy to it's easy to be like, oh, we could have Myles Garrett on this team, but then your offense isn't as good. You don't have nearly the talent on offense.
Well, Luke, the stats are the stats, man. The Bears dominated y'all in the fucking second half. They just did. The Packers were lucky to get out of there with the win, and they got the win. So kudos to them. But this game was a game. 100%. You guys thought that the Bears were going to get their fucking asses beat, like it wasn't going to have a chance. And when you're up 14-3 in the first half, you're thinking the game's over. And I'm thinking this Bears team don't fucking give up, and they're going to get right back in this thing. And guess who was right about that? The Bears are a real fucking team.
Yeah, and they were
some respect on that. How about that?
They were sweating it when Caleb let that ball go. They didn't know it was a pick.
Fuck yeah, they were.
They were sweating it. They were like, this could be a touchdown.
This is a real matchup. Packers fans better have left that game knowing that the Bears are not your little fucking brothers. These are gonna be fist 100%. Fights. These are going to be fist
guys, somebody just put in the chat here. The Bears are the first team this year to go into Lambeau Field and have over 20 points and over 300 yards of offense. So obviously that offense is better than has given the Packers a better run for them than most teams that have.
Whoever put that in the chat is awesome.
I will tell you this right now.
Perfect timing for that.
I will tell you this right now. I've been on X a lot today, and I will say this: a majority of Packers Nation is giving the Bears mad props and are saying this team is legit. I was actually really shocked. I thought it was going to be a ton of shit talk.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Obviously, you have a bunch of yahoos that are just talking retarded dumb shit, but majority of the fans are giving the Bears respect. The Packers know it. The players know it. They walked out of that game like, fuck, we got to play this team in 2 weeks. We better be fucking prepared.
Oh, yeah, and they physically beat the shit out of each other. They all just beat the shit out of each other, dude.
At our house.
Every hit in that game, you could hear from the fucking press boxes, man. They were absolutely destroying each other.
Monungai on Cooper. Oh, my God.
It was amazing.
He broke off a piece of his
That's
helmet.
not a Bears-Packers thing. If I saw that in any game, I would be like, oh, my God. You heard that. Like you heard that loud
There's
and clear.
one more point I wanted to make about this Bears defense.
Yeah, then I want to bring something up.
So, okay, that's fine. It was just so disappointing. I mean, we talked about the tackling. We talked about the blitzing getting beat there. We talked about, I mean, they got the one turnover, but they just weren't able to generate it in the way that they have. Another huge thing, man, every third down, it seemed like that's when the Packers were throwing a big-ass touchdown. And it wasn't just that. The Packers were making plays to get first downs on third down all night. And that has been one of the best aspects of this Bears defense all year. Yes. Without that pressure, Brandon, they have been able to get off the field on third down. The Packers just stayed on the field, and they made some of their biggest plays in that game on third down. Those were backbreakers.
Kyle said it. The coverage was just bad. We haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah, but
where everybody's just bad.
If he's sitting back there writing a book, he's gonna pick us apart. Mm-hmm. And he had clean pockets, and clean pocket Jordan Love is a very dangerous quarterback. So the Bears have to figure out something.
Yeah, but every game he's got that pass to Gardner Johnson was awful.
Yeah, the Packers, Scottish. The Packers
that was the worst throw of the game for sure.
Yeah, I remember the worst throw of the year, bro.
Packers.
But he also made some great throws in that game, Kyle. Some really good.
That's Jordan Love. Yeah. That's what you get.
That's kind of what Caleb Williams is too, man. They're kind of similar in that regard. Caleb Williams made some of the most unbelievable throws we've seen all year in that game yesterday.
Guys, it's worth mentioning the Packers are about to face
the
gauntlet of their schedule. The Packers are going to Denver, going to Chicago, I think hosting the Ravens.
I love that comment from Scottish.
It's about to get rough. The Packers better start playing their best football.
yeah, no, for sure. All of these teams. This is gonna be a fucking
but
down to the wire.
Our schedule is a little more favorable than Green Bay.
Shorty, how you doing? Thanks for being here, brother.
What's going on, Shorty?
Well, I mean, Carl, even if he didn't see Gardner Johnson, that throw wasn't going anywhere, man. Go watch the replay of that.
Yeah, there was no Packers there. He just threw that ball in the middle of the field.
Yeah, I think he just threw that ball in the middle of the field, hoping it would hit the ground.
Nobody there. I mean, no, the throw the pick that Jordan Love threw was terrible.
It was the worst throw of the
game. Nobody was anywhere near that.
It was directly to Gardner Johnson standing with 5 yards on either side of him.
That's what Jordan Love can do. I'm saying
it's not like there was a receiver sneaking in behind him. There was nobody there. That ball was thrown to C.J. Gardner Johnson.
Yeah, so that's the thing that Jordan Love is capable of doing every once in a while. And don't forget about
Luke,
that.
I don't understand the hate for Caleb Williams, man. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's going in his first season under a brand new head coach and Ben Johnson, learning one of the most, what people say is one of the most confusing and difficult systems to learn in the NFL. This guy, he's got the Bears at 9-4, and you're like,
Kyle, never played under
Ben
center.
Johnson just got a coach or got a quarterback, he'd be really good. Well, I don't know if you noticed or not, man, but the Bears are pretty damn good. And Caleb Williams has 5 game-winning drives this
we
season.
Forget Caleb played out of shotgun for 90% of his career up until this season. You're not even just remove the idea of installing Ben Johnson's offense. This guy has never played under center. He's never taken the snap from the center the way he is this season.
And his best quarterback play has been from under center this year.
And that alone is a big thing to change in a quarterback. Some guys fail, Dustin. Some guys fail at that. You know what I mean? Some guys, you try to do that to, like a Justin Fields. You try to force him into that role, that pocket guy, and it so works against everything that they do best. So Caleb has done a pretty damn good job.
If the Bears lose to Green Bay at home, it'll be a different conversation.
Yeah, or if the Bears turn around this week and lose to the Browns at home, we're having a whole different conversation.
Totally different
This loss was probably the best loss of the season for any team in the NFL. If you're going to pick out like, oh, that was a good loss, this might be the best loss of the season for any team in the NFL. The Bears were right there with them.
I think most Bears fans before the season
might wake them up.
Hold on one second. I think most Bears fans before the season picked the split. I mean, it's not like
we picked the split a week ago, Kyle, and then we both picked the Packers.
But when I did my score prediction, I said I can't pick Green Bay. I cannot pick Green Bay.
And I can't pick against the Bears right now the way they played. You can keep saying the same old Bears for all these traumatized Bears fans, but this team has shown you all year that they are not that. And Ben Johnson is not the same old Bears head coach. So there's nothing wrong with us having confidence in this Bears team yesterday and going forward. And yesterday they proved that our confidence it's legit. It makes sense.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with losing to the now number one seed in the NFC or in the
I wanted
NFC
to say this.
by a touchdown with the last throw of the game. There's no
on
in their house. In their house.
I wanted to say this tonight. Like, the Bears just played the most important game of their season because it dictated who was in charge of their division, and it was probably the best football team they've played all year, and they lost that game. And I think now, because of what occurred yesterday, this Browns game is the most important game of your season because you have to fucking respond. Let's see. This team just came off a 7-game win streak. Let's see this. Let's see this be your wake up call. Thank you, Shorty. Appreciate you, brother. Shorty. Let's see this be your wake up call. Let's see this smack you in the face and go out there against the Browns and dominate that football team and answer. That's what Ben Johnson, I think, is going to. That's the culture.
Game.
That's the culture.
That I think every next game
till the end of the
most important game of the season until the 100%. Season ends. Because if you don't get 11 wins,
this is
you're not getting in the playoffs. If you get 11, you might not get in the playoffs the way this NFC North is shaped.
And if you guys want to talk about divisions, there's a very
Sean
good
wanted
chance.
to get to something, guys. I wanted to just shout out the chat real quick. Shorty, Carl's been in here. Romy, James, Relentless, Mikey, Scottish Bear, Luke. Thanks for being here. Jed, as always. Flex Diggs, y'all are all awesome. Bruce, as always, as well. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you share. James Christo, what's up, dude? Make sure you share this with a friend or a loved one. Tell them how much fun you have here, and tell them to come be a part of our awesome fucking community. We're just trying to talk Bears and have fun, and this is a hell of a season to do it. Sean, what did you want to go to, man?
You said really quick off subject, Kyle. I just figured.
Phil, I forgot to shout you out. Sorry.
Pretty interesting. The Pirates just offered 4 years, $100 million to Kyle Schwarber. It just broke on my phone. God, I hope he doesn't go to Pittsburgh. You don't want to go to that fucking hell. But nonetheless,
love me some Bam Bam.
Thank you, Shorty. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah, very much so, man. Thank you, sir. I just wanted to say it wasn't quite the legacy game that we thought it could be. But man, did Luther Burden make some serious strides yesterday? And I'm going to say this: I thought they would move some things around. I think he played. No, he played on the outside. I think 60% of the time.
That's what I was telling you, Sean. That's what we were telling you going into that.
And I thought he would look. You look at his scouting report. Look at where he excels. He excels from the slot. So I wasn't coming into this game.
Vizzo, I'm sorry, but Vizzo, you're one of my favorites. We love you. I'm sorry. There's so many, and y'all are throwing out so many chats so quickly. I'm sorry, Vizzo. You are the fucking man. We love you here at 4-Star Chicago Sports. There you go. Thanks for speaking up. The greasy wheel, the squeaky wheel will get greased. All right, we're here to grease you. Sorry, Sean. Go ahead.
I'm very happy with his development, and I just think they deployed him based off of necessity, not necessarily where he's going to end up for his career. I think he's going to wind up being in the slot and being that gadget guy in this offense. He picked up very nicely for Rome. I wish he could have scored a touchdown, but he averaged almost 17 yards a catch, 16.8. He had 6 targets, 4 catches. And when the ball was in his hand, you just see it, man. He jumps off the screen. This kid's so electric, man. I love Luther Burden. I love Luther Burden, man. God, I love that kid.
God, he was awesome, Sean. He was. And we knew he was going to be on the outside. Me and Brandon both said it because it just made sense, and he is capable of it. And Jade Walker, as I said, man, he got 1 snap, I think.
Yeah, he didn't play off.
And like you got to earn Ben Johnson's trust. We knew it was going to be Oz kind of sliding into that slot role and Burden taking over that, and he really did well in that area too, Sean. As you said, he excelled on the outside.
He played on the outside at Mizzou for a season, man.
I was thinking more or less like some tricks in the bag, kind of like that Bo Melton. No one saw that touchdown coming. Maybe you bring in Jahade Walker, defense sleeps on him, and you hit him over the top. That's kind of where I was going. I thought there'd be some special stuff in this game that we haven't seen yet, but we didn't really see any special anything from the Bears.
Well, all the special shit kind of flew out the window in this game, Sean.
Ben did have
there was no cute shit in this game.
Plays.
This was beat the fucking guy across.
He did have that one trick play, didn't he? That went for like 10 yards or 12 yards.
He had a couple. No, I think he had 1 or 2 that like actually gained some yards for sure.
This wasn't a game for that cute shit, though. It just wasn't. This was.
But he had a few. He had a few that got red in the DJ. That double reverse.
What's up, Paul?
Where DJ just got destroyed on that. Like, what are you doing, man? What are you
Mikey,
doing?
Let me say something to Mikey.
What's going on, Paul?
Mikey, you get us 300 subscribers, I'll grease you up. Come on over. All right. He asked, "Who am I greasing up?" Get in line, man. Get in line. We're happy to have you. There he is. Sorry. Go ahead. DJ Moore seems to be a good thing to talk about. We just talked about the Luther Burden thing. He's obviously a growing and
he's going to be so good, dude, for years to come.
Good. And he can do it on the inside. He can do it on the outside. He can do it in the gadget play role. He can do whatever the fuck you want him to do, which is why he is so special. And one thing we got to say about Burden while we're talking about him, Sean, is he's a fucking dog. And you come get in his face, he's going to put his fucking hand around his throat. And you better watch the fuck out fucking with Luther Burden. Don't I loved it.
I said in the
and he drew the penalty. He baited that motherfucker.
I said in the offseason before when we drafted him, this is the kind of guy that draws penalties from the opposing defense. Yeah. That's who this guy is.
And dude came and got in his face, and Luther's immediate reaction wasn't like, "Hey, what are you doing?" He was like, "Motherfucker!" He grabbed his throat. Luther don't fuck around.
You got to know, man. That guy's from East St. Louis, man. That's the hood, bro. Yeah, he's ghetto as fuck.
His name is Luther. God damn it! Don't get in his fucking face. What are you thinking?
He's the man.
I love that kid. DJ Moore needs to be talked about. I got him in my notes here. This is something we have to talk about because Kyle brought it up, man. 3 targets, 1 catch, -4 yards. Ben Johnson said in his press conference today, Sean, he's the guy who they had the most in place for in this game plan going into this game, and he was really surprised to see, once he looked at the stats, what DJ Moore's output was. DJ Moore does not fit in this offense, and I said it going into this game. It's been a weird season for him. He's kind of become the invisible man, and I thought this would be a game he could step up, and obviously the Bears had the intention of that happening, but it just has not come to fruition. And is he just the odd man out in this offense, guys? What's going on with DJ Moore?
I don't like hearing Ben say once I saw the stats. Like you should be aware during the game that you're not getting DJ Moore involved.
It's a joke, man.
It ain't a fucking joke. My mother's fucking dying, asshole.
Oh,
that ain't fucking funny.
Oh, okay. He doesn't know that, Sean.
Well, don't fucking talk about people's moms, dude.
I didn't know that either, Sean. So I'm sorry to hear that, man. I'm sorry to hear that. That's a tough thing to deal with. We're here for you, okay?
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, guys, if this continues and DJ Moore continues to be like an afterthought in this offense, I think he probably is the right guy to trade. I mean, listen, the Bears are $2 million over the salary cap next year. That's not going to get them anything in free agency. They need to find a way to create space on this roster. And I'm sorry, but I don't think anybody's going to take the contracts of Grady Jarrett or Deo. You think Luther Burden is probably going to step into the number 1 or number 2 role next to Ramadunze. I think DJ Moore would probably be the best bet to be traded off this roster.
Yeah, and just when you look at his contract, when you look at his production in this offense, I mean, and we talked about it, and it was just thrown in the chat, man. Like DJ Moore could really fit into that. You feel like with his skill set, he could fit into that role, that Amon-Ra St. Brown role. But as we also talked about, this is not the same offense Ben ran in Detroit. Very different talents. The quarterback's completely different. There is no Amon-Ra St. Brown in this offense, and right now there's no DJ Moore in this offense.
That could be.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to move off of him in that contract. If you
St. Brown in this offense.
Well, I'll say it again.
He'll be Luther Burden in this offense.
It's a little concerning to hear Ben Johnson say, like, once I saw the stats, I was surprised. Like, Ben Johnson knows in the middle of that fucking football game that DJ Moore's not getting enough involved, man. Right, Kyle? Because, like, do you think that's the reality? Do you think Ben Johnson's finding out how involved DJ Moore was when he reads the stat sheet at the end of the game? He knows in the middle of that game that DJ Moore's not being involved enough. You know, I hate
to be that guy, man, but I'm starting to buy into the DJ's poor attitude, poor body language. I don't know, man. I can't believe I'm saying this because I love DJ Moore, but he looks disinterested. To me,
I feel like a couple weeks ago.
I feel like he's becoming one of these receivers where if he's not getting the ball immediately right at the start of the game, then he starts getting frustrated and he almost kind of gives up.
Is that real? Is that real, or is this a joke?
No, I mean, Bruce said earlier that they brought him in for a workout today.
I heard something about that.
Philip Rivers and his 15 kids are going to Indianapolis.
Maybe he needs another paycheck
for the stretch run.
Yeah, that's not going to help them.
Watch him go ball out.
John for you, Sean, as well. Prayers, Sean. Family first.
Man, thank you guys, dude. Look,
nobody meant anything by it.
My uncle just passed away. My mom's not doing well. I'm a little fucked up right now, so I'm a little sensitive. So I apologize.
It's okay, man. It's okay. Everybody understands. Nobody knows any. Nobody knew this. Nobody was trying to get at you like that.
I know.
Everybody here is all about the love, man. We're good. Okay. I mean, I just think DJ Moore is a problem for this offense, and this offense is a problem for him. He doesn't fit it. It's not working. And as you said, like how like everybody talked about how he looked so pissed off after that game. It's like I think he was just pissed off because he had one catch for -4 yards and they lost to the Packers. I don't think it was because he thought he was open on that play. I don't think he expected to get the ball. If you watch him on that play, he was jogging. He wasn't even running. So like that doesn't make sense to me.
This brisk,
but DJ Moore has just kind of disappeared in this offense, and I don't know what to say about it or why it's the case. And I know Sean, you've been a big defender of him, and so have I. But at this point, it's like, what can we get for you? We can live without you.
I
can provide an answer to that question.
I think he struggles to find space when the Bears are playing a 12-13 personnel. And the problem for DJ Moore is that's where the Bears spend most of their time. So if he can't, I mean, to me, DJ doesn't even sometimes doesn't even look like he's running routes. It looks like he's almost kind of creating his own routes. Caleb's not even looking at him. Not even looking at him.
DJ, in my viewing, I personally think the guy's been his best football player in the middle of the field. That's where DJ's had most of his success. Those were the big plays that Justin Fields made to DJ Moore to get him into field goal range. He was always in the middle of the field. He's been used as an outside receiver this year for the majority of this season. I think that he honestly should play the role that Dustin's talking about. I think he should remove Zacchaeus, let Luther play on the outside across from Rome, and let DJ play in the middle of the field. And I think you'll get DJ Moore heavily involved in this offense because I think that's where he carves people up. He does. He gets in those soft zones and he gets open. And that's where he's his best. And if you ask me, that's where he's been. I know he had in Carolina, he had some big touchdowns outside the numbers. But guys, to me, on his Bears tenure, he's been the best player in the middle, the best wide receiver on this Bears team in the middle of the field. And I would get Burden and Rome.
But Caleb has been so good in the middle of the field this year.
I would give Burden and Rome a look outside and let DJ get in the middle. And Cole Kmet and Colson Lovin are absolutely making an impact on DJ Moore. There's no doubt about that because those guys are consuming right now all the snaps in the middle of the field. They're effective. So DJ Moore's he's not an outside guy strictly. He needs to be used like a gadget. He's a guy that can do a lot of things, but you got to give him the opportunity to do it. And he's playing outside. He's across from Rome every game.
Could be
I'm just not sure that's the way to go. Honestly.
It could be a too many mouths to feed thing, but Caleb has been great in the middle of the field. But as you said, that's not where they're utilizing DJ Moore. And maybe they feel like they have better options there as it is. And DJ Moore is not like he's drawing a bunch of coverage either. It's not like he's one of those receivers that gets double teamed or bracketed that's taking away coverage from other guys. And here's another thing to talk about with DJ Moore. I'm interested in you guys' thoughts on this. Is it just a bad match with Caleb Williams in terms of how off time Caleb Williams
it seems
I mean, Justin Fields was a scrambler, but like when he made the passes, it was within the offense generally. If he took off, he was taking off to run. Caleb takes off to throw. And Tom Brady brought this up last night, how fast Caleb gets to the outside. It's like the receivers aren't breaking off in time to get into that scramble drill with him. And they seem to always be behind him, and they're still having adjusted to that speed. And maybe DJ Moore just is not a scramble drill guy in general. And that's where Caleb seems to make the most of his plays. And you never see him make it to DJ Moore. It's always Roma Dunze or Cole Kmet. It was Duvernay last night. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's never DJ, though. He's never looking for DJ on the sideline when he's running out to his right. Like, I never see that. I don't know what you guys think of that.
I think it could just be a collective thing. It could be the fact that maybe Caleb
DJ's a baller.
With Caleb still learning this offense, DJ's still learning this offense. Maybe they just haven't gotten on the same page yet. Maybe it's going to take longer than a year for them to do that. Maybe DJ Moore just doesn't fit in this Ben Johnson offense.
No,
really doesn't
he's a baller, dude. He's a yards after catch guy.
Maybe DJ Moore's being played out of position. Maybe he's frustrated or upset with the way they're using him, so he's not putting in 100% effort. Like you said, you see him jogging on plays, or you seem frustrated all the time. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, somebody on the Bears who's making a lot of money, who we like, is probably not going to be here next year. Or the Bears aren't going to have any money.
But all we've talked about is
DJ Moore for me would be at the top of that list. That's just
all we've talked about.
I'm not saying I don't like him.
Yeah, he would. And
all we've talked about is DJ Moore and his performance. Nobody here. Listen, I was the guy that was saying trade DJ Moore a year ago, but nobody thinks the way they've designed DJ Moore into this offense is kind of shit.
Yes.
DJ Moore is a yards after catch player. I don't see anything those screen passes, man, get the fuck out of here. I don't like if you get DJ Moore on a seam in the middle of the field or a slant or a flat and get him space, he's going to do you some favors. If you're a quarterback, the guy's going to get you some yards. He's going to get you first downs. That's what he does. They haven't. He's a phenomenal football player. We got to remember that.
Here's the issue with what you're saying, Brandon. Here's the issue with what you're saying.
He needs to be against nickels, not against outside.
I can agree with you there.
It's not his strength.
But you just talked about yards after the catch, and I'll say this right now, and I love Caleb Williams, and some people have been talking about him in the chat, and I want to get to some of the things that they've said.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll say this about Caleb Williams. His placement has been bad this year, and he is not getting the ball to these receivers in a position where they can catch and run and make those yards after the catch. That has been my biggest issue with Caleb's play this year. The accuracy, so be it. He's throwing the ball away. That makes sense. Like his completion percentage is down because they're looking for explosives. That makes sense.
Yeah,
the placement is shit. It is. These guys are having to fall down to catch the ball. They're not on the same page a lot of times.
When they're open,
putting the ball behind them. When they're open,
they're falling down.
His ball placement has not been good. Like you want to put it in their breadbasket so they can catch it and run, and they don't got to think about nothing else. And that's just not been there this year. So when you're talking about DJ Moore getting yards after the catch, nobody's really getting yards after the catch in this offense, and it is a big problem with Caleb's ball placement, guys, and that's got to get better. And I think it's going to, but right now it's just not there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to sit here and start agreeing on this DJ Moore stuff. As much as I love DJ Moore, his attitude has been a little bit noticeable.
Oh, and maybe
it's because he doesn't get the ball or he's not involved in the game.
Body language.
Oh, did you know this?
Who knows what his attitude is, man? He might be a really quality teammate. His body language.
Well, they didn't name him captain at the start of this season.
He's the Walter Payton.
They didn't take it away this year.
He's the Walter Payton player on the team.
He's not very vocal. He doesn't seem like a vocal leader to me. He would not be a captain if I was the coach of Chicago. But I don't blame Ben Johnson for that. I don't know.
No, I said that before the season. He's not a captain.
Maybe he wants.
He never was.
I don't know.
He never was a captain. I told you guys, Kevin Byard should be, and DJ Moore shouldn't be.
But in a game in which you lost your number one receiver on the season and Rome Odunze, you would certainly expect more from DJ Moore than
exactly Shorty.
3 targets for 1 catch and -4 yards. I mean, I think everybody in the world
certainly has more to give than that.
Yeah, everybody in the world deployed DJ Moore in their fantasy leagues. Like, no, Rome Odunze, this is gonna be a great game for DJ. I mean, that's just not acceptable.
He is a talented football player. He's a talented football player, and he should be making an impact in football games if he's on your football team and you're paying him a lot of money to do so. I don't think it's for the lack of DJ Moore's talent or ability, man. I think it's for the lack of the way that he's been in.
But your head coach said going into this week he had the most installed in the game plan for him, Brandon.
Yeah, but how did that installation look to you? He had 3 targets.
It didn't go well. It didn't go well. The ball never got to him. So, like, can we keep ignoring the fact that
I think
no matter what they're doing, like the ball's not going?
Yeah, I think what Dustin's saying is that you just can't quantify how much of it is Caleb Williams, how much is DJ Moore, how much of it is Ben Johnson, how much. Where's the blame?
It's just a bad fit all around with all these guys. That could be a possibility.
His installment though was screen passes. We watched it. It wasn't good. He got 2 screen passes that he got mauled on. He got a wide receiver reverse where while he was getting the ball, he got destroyed. I don't think the installment was very good. And that's not where DJ Moore.
Because I think that was backwards.
That's not where DJ Moore thrives, man. You got to get him moving forward in the seam, get him the ball, and he will find a way. He does. That's
all that being said, Brandon, if you could get a 2nd or 3rd round pick for him, would you do it in the offseason?
Of course, in a heartbeat. Yes. But while he's on your football team, let's maybe try to get this guy involved a little bit more than we are.
Yes, I agree. This is a great comment from Shorty. The only reason Jordan Love looks half as good as he has, year 6 in the same offense, year 3 starting in it. Caleb will be just fine, my bros. That's a very good point to make. Caleb is in his first year.
I think the only person he's talking to
you should not be comparing those two in terms of where they're at.
I think everybody else agrees with you 100%.
Well, there was a couple
outside of Luke.
Yeah, outside of Luke, and Carl said that he thinks earlier in the chat. Carl said he thinks. I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. Caleb, if his first read's not there, he just runs out of the pocket even when there's not pressure. Is that what you guys saw yesterday?
No, Caleb's great at progressions. That's
No,
never been a knock on Caleb.
Caleb was not
Caleb's
bailing out.
always-
This is a narrative that's getting pushed out there. Caleb was
No.
not bailing without pressure in his face yesterday. There was pressure in his face on
Caleb's-
40% of his drop passes.
No,
If
in the
you're
first
a
half,
Bears
Dustin,
fan,
I
the
did
thing
think
you
he
guys-
went out of the. I thought he
I
didn't
almost want him on
trust
the
his line.
run. I almost want him
Yeah,
rolling
if
out.
They weren't
if you're-
very good.
If you're a Bears fan,
His
the one
line
thing you
wasn't very
cannot-
good in the first half. So
if you're a Bears fan, the one thing you cannot complain about when it comes to Caleb Williams is his pocket presence. He's been an absolute magician. There was a time where they were calling him the magician because he's so good. He's got eyes in the back of his head. Caleb Williams to me is just as good of a thrower on the run than he is standing in the pocket. I think I think he should utilize that strength. I think he's one of the only guys in the NFL who can play outside of the pocket like he can.
Yeah.
The problem
Yeah,
is
throw
the
to
Bears.
Oz, dude.
It was obvious that the Packers were their
Nobody
game
else
plan
makes that
was
throw.
to rush
No.
Caleb Williams as much as possible, and they were doing a good job
Maybe
of it. Guys.
Josh
And I
Allen.
understand that Ozzie Trapillo didn't give up a single pressure, but I don't know how
Mahomes, maybe.
some of those statistics seem a little skewed to me because there was constantly guys disrupting the space in the pocket, disrupting the timing of the offense constantly.
In the
I don't know if
first
you
half,
consider those
for
pressures
sure.
like true quarterback pressures, but there was plenty of times where if Caleb stayed in that pocket, it was not going to end up good. It was not going to end up well for him.
No, and he had to get out yesterday, guys. That's
there
all
was
I want.
two-
That's the point
there
I
was
wanted to
two
make.
where he
He's
was
not
being
just seeing
grabbed.
ghosts and running out. He had to get the fuck out. Like he did what he had to do, especially
Ben
in that
said it.
second half.
Ben
and he
Johnson
made
said that.
plays. Yeah, he bailed them out a lot with that, and he's been doing that all year. Caleb was seeing ghosts at the start of this season. I'll say that, but that's just not true anymore. He is going through his reads pretty well. Cole Kmet was his
He's
third
great at
read on that
progressions.
final play. He
Yeah.
just got to it a second too late. He just did. But I mean, he's not a first read and run quarterback. That's just the narrative that's out there that's getting kind of stale at this point.
Because if he was, his completion percentage might be better because he would take the read that's there. It's short, but Caleb makes his reads because he wants to see the thing that's happening downfield. The one thing you can say about Caleb and his progressions is that sometimes he just makes too many, and you should just take what's standing in front of you. That's what I would say about.
That's what makes the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history. They will absolutely pick you apart on taking 4 yards here, 6 yards here,
the first
8 yards
read,
here.
Kyle.
And they don't have to.
First drawn
every
open.
single play doesn't have to win.
Yeah, Sean was going to ask a question, guys.
Sorry,
No,
Sean.
I'm
I'm sorry,
say,
Sean.
when it comes to Caleb, right now he's clutch, great at evading the pocket, extending the play. We can all see the raw arm talent. I think the three things that are killing him right now, sometimes, most of the time, bad footwork, poor timing, anticipation, and obviously his accuracy. Those are the three things that I think he needs to figure out.
Placement, accuracy, and
work.
and
get better
anticipation. Yes.
Yeah.
Playing within the system. And there's been some games where he's done it and he's not getting enough credit. Yesterday in the first half, this entire offense was shit. The game plan was shit. The O-line was shit. The run game was shit. It was all bad. In the second half, they got it going, and Caleb looked damn good. It was the tale of two halves. So we can't just say, well, he sucked because he had a bad first half and ignore that he had a damn good second half that got them right back in a game that they should have been out of, and they were one throw away from taking the game or tying it. Come on now. Like he give credit where it's due as well. Like we see the things that Caleb needs to get better at, but you also see the things that Caleb does better than mostly anybody in the NFL, and you can't coach that, and you're never going to coach it out of him. You want that because he saves your ass on some of those plays, and it's just the reality of who Caleb Williams is right now, and that's okay to me. It is. Kyle Harris jumping in.
He's going to just have to continue to progress and learn. And you see the things in him that could make him very well be a franchise quarterback for the Chicago Bears. And look, it's instant gratification. I know everyone wants it right now, but sometimes it just takes a little bit longer. And I think coming through this season, having this offseason and going in the next season, I think we're going to see what we all want to see right now. I think more so next year as he'll have the tape to be able to work on it.
That's the one thing I can't say enough about Caleb Williams,
Sean.
I think week 1 next season.
Yeah, I'm not going to be in no Packers pods later.
Very different Caleb Williams than you do today. If Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson hit an offseason together, side by side, he's got all the film from the year he just played in Ben Johnson's offense for the first season he did. Caleb's going to come into year 2, guys, in the system as a much different player, and it's going to be special because He's going to evolve in the things that most quarterbacks can do. Jared Goff can do what Caleb is struggling with right now, right? Because most quarterbacks can do what Caleb's trying to figure out. You sit in the pocket, you run the system, you make the anticipated throws, you trust your guys to be where they're supposed to be. The thing that Caleb does the best is just something that, like Dustin said, you don't coach it. So when Caleb gets that next year, that this full off season to watch the film from the system he's been in, and he comes in better in that aspect of his game, Ben Johnson's system and running it and taking command, and he still does the stuff where he's running around, Packers fans know just the same as anyone. This guy is a problem on the way. This is a problem. He's a problem for the NFL. He's going to be. I assure you.
Go on X right now. Packer Nation knows it. He's
a special player.
It was so much different from the Packers, from the intelligent Packer fans that were on X today than I thought I was going to see. But they came out and they are giving the Bears mad respect. They did not expect what they saw in Lambeau yesterday, and they better be ready because it's going to be a better version in 2 weeks in Chicago.
And just as you said with Caleb Williams, like Ben Johnson, and as you said, Ben Johnson's a rookie head coach. This whole thing is brand new. And for the Bears to hang with them the way they did shows an awful lot about who this team is and what they're, more importantly than who they are right now, what they are going to be in the future. And as you guys
they're
said,
way ahead of schedule.
They're going to be a fucking problem. Yes, they're ahead of a schedule now, and they're only going to get better. So, yeah, Packers fans, I'll give you credit. Kyle Harris, we're giving the guys the credit. You guys made more plays than the Bears. You started out faster. You took that game and didn't want to give it back, and you didn't. It was a close one, though. The Bears were right there, and you guys should have been favorites.
Green Bay has damn good defense. And you guys played. And Jordan Love's having the best year of his career. But Kyle,
Jordan Love is playing
for any Packers fan in the world to come on here and complain about the refs. You guys have gotten every call to go your way for the last 35 years under both Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. Man, listen, you don't have to complain about the refs. You got a damn good defense. You have Jordan Love.
Yeah, the refs
didn't impact. He's only got 3 interceptions. But
let's say this:
the referees have been fucking.
The calls didn't go the Bears' way, surprisingly, in that game.
Yeah, but how many times does that happen, guys? And Bears in Packers history, how many times does that happen?
Not ever that I can remember.
Well,
you can't use that. The Bears have been dealing with that shit for 35 years. You guys get it for one game and you're bitching about it?
But don't be in here saying Caleb Williams sucks.
What's important to say is
he's just getting better, guys.
What's important to say is, this defense took the ball away from your quarterback, who's thrown 3 interceptions all year. Kyle already stated somewhere in the chat it was the first offense to go into Lambeau Field and have 300 plus yards and what was it, Kyle?
Congratulations, dude.
24 points, Kyle. What was there? 21 plus points?
Over 20 points and over 300 yards. The first team this season is going to Lambeau and have both.
So no matter how you want to view this game, if you're a Packers fan, you can feel like you dominated it.
With him the whole show.
But the Bears did something the Packers haven't seen in their house yet. And the Bears are here to compete against the best teams in the NFL. And the Packers, listen, no matter how you feel as a fan, the Packers players after that football game have respect for this football.
100%.
I can tell you this.
That's all that matters.
They respect Kyle
We're seeing it.
I can tell you that
the
shit.
Players are saying it too.
They respect Kyle Monangai. I promise you that shit.
I bet you Edgerrin Cooper does.
Oh, yeah. Edgerrin Cooper woke up and his entire body hurt. That was one of the most violent hits I've ever seen. I've been watching football for 35 years. How many times I've seen people's paint chips flying off their helmet from getting hit? And even more impressive, Kyle Monangai had already got wrapped up at the feet, and he still put so much pressure into that hit that he knocked paint off of Cooper's
Speaking of which, I thought there was a helmet-to-helmet missed on Caleb Williams.
I thought so too, but they showed the replay. I was bitching about it, and then
it wasn't really there.
No,
what about the chop
I didn't get
block?
to see a good angle.
What about the chop block on Theo Benedict on the Colston Loveland touchdown? That was supposed to be a Theo Benedict touchdown, and dude just chopped his legs out.
We said that shit. We were talking about that. Remember, Brandon?
There was some calls missed on.
You
both
did
sides
say
of
that,
the ball.
Sean. That's exactly what you said to me verbatim.
That was a
Theo Benedict touchdown, and he got shot blocked.
Yeah, I'm like, dude,
he was the first
penalty call.
Yeah, there was a couple times where Caleb threw the ball away, got hit late. They didn't throw the flag. I mean, guys, what they were doing is they were letting
Caleb doesn't get flags.
They were letting them play football, man. It was the Bears Packers.
Yeah, well, Caleb's like that Michael Jordan in his rookie season.
They were going to they wanted the fans to enjoy this.
9-4 is going to
be a damn good game.
9-4 is. You weren't.
Caleb's like Michael Jordan in his early career. He's just not getting them calls.
The Bears can still finish 500 in the division. They got 2 home games left against the Lions and the Packers, and they can win them both, and they'll be 3-3.
And if they win both of those games, Sean, they'll win the NFC North.
They're really, really damn good chance.
No, they will. If they win both of those games, they will win the NFC
I gotta
North.
say this.
Not saying it's going to happen.
Hold on, really quick. Regardless of what happens, if the Bears and Packers both win next week, it's only still a half-game lead. So essentially, in 2 weeks, both teams win. We're playing for the NFC North again.
Yeah. I gotta say this. This is not a Packers thing.
Yeah.
I promise it's not a Packers thing. It's just something that bothers me. The fucking tie. There's no because they lost one less.
Benefits you.
It's so stupid. A tie should just count as you should just get 2 losses if you tie. That should be you get 2 losses on you forfeit a game. If you tie.
It should count for more than a regular loss.
Oh, James, James, go look at this.
It's so pathetic.
James, go look at their team statistics. The Packers are in top 10 in every defensive statistical category. So you can't come in here and say they're not a good football team.
Damn good defense.
They're as good as they showed us yesterday.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, they're 9-3-1.
James, they're as good as they showed us yesterday. The Bears played
I'll tell you this.
second half and came
the
up
Packers
short
are
against a
third
really
favorite for the Super Bowl right now.
Third
favorite odds in the Vegas line.
Faster to the line to stop your running back, and they showed it again yesterday. I mean, we played to their strengths. We beat them in the second half. This was the first round of many rounds between the Bears and the Packers. LaFleur and Johnson, we'll give it, hey, put the flower in the cap. LaFleur got round 1. We'll have round 2 in 2 weeks. And we got 10 more rounds to go over the next 10 years because
neither another crack, I
believe, is
going
20 rounds.
So,
no, it's gonna be a hell of a game in 2 weeks, guys. And all I know is that the Packers fans, if they go into it with the same mentality that they had going into this game, that they were just gonna wipe the floor with the Bears, then they're just not actually paying attention to what's happening on the
bias. It's just thinking with your heart and not your brain.
We're sitting here saying the Packers are a good team.
They're the same old Packers. The Bears are the same old Bears.
Players
the reality is these teams are much more.
This game.
The reality is these teams are a much more even draw than they've been in years past, and the Packers fans know that. And the Packers fans also know, you guys, that if Caleb Williams does improve on the efficiency issues, they're in big trouble. They know that. They know if Caleb Williams becomes a better passer in year 2 under Ben Johnson, they are in big fucking trouble.
If the Bears play for 60 minutes, if the Bears just play that game that they played in the second half for 60 minutes,
Dustin, that's what
they win that football game.
Dustin, that throw to Cole Kmet, that throw to Zacchaeus, the touchdown throw to Zacchaeus. If he throws like that all game, if he gets consistently good and is like throwing like that all game next season, Caleb Williams, the Chicago Bears will beat the shit out of everybody.
It feels like a big if a little bit right now. Ben Johnson's got some work to do. Caleb Williams got some work to do. I fully believe they're going to get it done. Did you guys see what Josh Jacobs said about Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears after the game?
I did.
Yeah. He said, you see what the head coach is preaching. You see how the guys are embodying that. Even on the field, like they straining a little bit more. They doing a little bit more. You could tell that they are believing in what he's preaching. These players know what the Chicago Bears team
they knew before yesterday.
The effect that Ben Johnson.
We're going to have a lot of days like this, guys. Trust me. We're going to have a lot of days like this on a Matt LaFleur.
It's a rivalry renewed, guys. It's back. Packers fans and Packers, whether they won yesterday or not, they just don't want to admit that. They don't want to look in the mirror and say, "Man, it's going to be."
Why would I?
Over the next 10 years, the Bears are going to win just as much as the Packers, and that sucks.
Well, and what matters most to me too is, like, let's say the Bears lose both Packers games this year and they win the rest and they win the division. I don't give a shit.
I'll tell you
if they lose the Packers. If they win the division and the Packers finish second place, who cares?
I'll tell you this right now. If the Bears had a legit pass rusher that can consistently get to the quarterback, the Bears probably win yesterday as well. So let's not forget that. You got to pressure.
Sean, the Bears might win if they have Kyler Gordon and Jordan Love isn't 7 for 7 for 140 yards and 3 touchdowns. The guy's playing out of the slot. They might win that fucking game.
A lot of these ifs, though, are tough, guys, because we could do that all day. Like, the Bears got to show up.
Yeah, but you
the
guys,
Bears got to show up.
Kyler Gordon is absolutely.
That was huge.
He is probably outside of Jalen Johnson and maybe Caleb Williams. He is the best Bear. He is. So to be missing one of your 3 best players, like, you guys, how do you think that game would have? How do you think that game would have changed if fucking Micah Parsons was out? How would that have changed? How the game changed? How can people like Kyler Gordon's out? That's not that big of a deal. When they announced that before the game, it was massive.
Not just that he was out,
Kyle. Sean, and I'm like, that's massive.
It was that he went out non-contact in pregame warmups, and we talked about it. But let's talk about it a little bit more because it was huge for that game yesterday. But it's huge for the rest of the season because we know the impact Kyler Gordon makes on his defense. And you have a non-contact tissue injury. I don't expect to see him for the rest of the season.
Well, maybe they're just saving him for the second Green Bay game. Maybe that's what they're doing.
No, you don't need to save anything. Like you needed him yesterday.
No, he was injured.
He's hurt.
Like if he's hurt at all and they were like, hey, Kyle, do you think you could play? And he's like, guys, it's 50-50. They might be like, you know what, then if it's 50-50 and you feel like there's a chance for you injuring yourself.
Yes, Jed, you're right.
Let's save you for the last 3 games of the season that we have to win to get into the playoff. It wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, there's a chance that Kyler Gordon, like Sean said, let's see what they say before we make a decision. There's a chance that maybe he could have played yesterday, but they were like, it's not worth the risk, man. It's not worth the risk. We did with Jalen Johnson week 2, and it didn't work out very well for us. So why don't you
but like they clearly expected him to play in this game, Kyle, if they ramped up.
100%. But if
Kyle, that's the premise, though.
If the hardest he had been running all week was a pregame warm-up, so that's they're like, all right, give us 100%. Let's see what you got. And he's like, hey man, I can still kind of sore.
When you look at how this season has gone for Kyler Gordon, do you really put it out of the realm of possibility that we might not see him again for the rest of the season?
With the way that Kyler Gordon's career has gone, you might never see him play football again.
I bank on the fact that we are not going to see him, man. I wanted to touch back on this, James. Roma Dunze's dad joined us. Thanks for being here. Said when the game's on the line, keep the ball out of Caleb's hands. Listen, Jed points it out right here, and this is just another stale narrative that's going around.
Thanks for being here, Carl. We appreciate you. Man.
What you have seen throughout this season completely disproves what you were saying. Caleb Williams has made the plays with the game.
He has the most game-winning drives by statistics.
Let's just stop talking out of our ass and be real about this.
I'm not throwing out false numbers.
No, you can't dispute those facts, Brandon, because they are facts. That's what we have seen with our eyes. Caleb Williams has led those game-winning drives, and he has made the plays when it mattered most. So the same old Bears thing, the Caleb's not good in the clutch thing, when it's on the line, he'll fuck it up. That's a story for another. That's a story for another team. You're stuck in the past. Like this,
you're not going to hear Packers fans talk a lot of shit because they know they have to play the Bears in Chicago in 2 weeks, and if they lose that game, the Bears fans are going to destroy them. So they're not going to come on here and just talk a bunch of shit. That's not going to happen. The Packers fans are going to do that because if the Bears beat them in 2 weeks in Chicago, which by the way, guys, that game is supposed to be 9 degrees. 9 degrees I know it's way too early future forecast, but
ride the offensive line. Ride the fucking offense.
There's a polar vortex coming in. I got the thing today. Starting, I think, on Friday, it's going to be bone chilling here for a while. There's a polar vortex air system coming.
On Sunday, it's going to be like -4 outside.
Yeah, it's going to be freezing. Starting Saturday. Saturday's high is 10.
See how the Bears handle another good defense in the Cleveland Browns. I'm really interested to see how this game.
Hey guys, I got to get out of here, but I wanted to touch on this just before we leave. Before I bounce, was this playoff picture because holy shit, man! To sit here, look at these records. The Bucks, just because they're leading the division.
Something wrong with the Bucks.
But man, look at this, dude. Look at these records. This is insane. The NFC is nuts.
It's the toughest it's ever looked in a long time. Of course, the year the Bears got to push for a playoff berth.
And the Seahawks catch another.
2 years ago, the Bears would have made it at 9-8.
Yeah, it might come down to it might come down to whoever the last team to make the playoffs in the NFC might be Bears versus Lions in the last week of the season.
It's very possible that the Bears win 11 games and don't make the playoffs. That is a possibility.
But hold on, guys, because look at this. The playoff, the teams the Lions, the Niners, and the Packers are the teams that are in this mix. Those are the teams you got to beat. You have it in your control.
You got 3 matchups. Yep, that you can.
These are the games you have to win to make sure you do get this playoff berth. And I do want to say this, man. Like, again, it can't be understated. The Packers playing Denver, then going to Chicago, then going to Baltimore against the Ravens, who will have Lamar Jackson probably. That is a rough. That's a gauntlet right there.
The Ravens have just been bad. They have not.
The Ravens up.
Yeah, they've been so bad. They have not turned it around like I expected. We thought they turned it around, and then they kind of turned back around in the other direction.
They have, and that's fine and dandy, but that was a touchdown. That was
No, yeah, for sure. The
that was a touchdown. The Ravens won that game. That was a touchdown.
Weird.
How the refs take that away is insane.
But listen, the one guarantee I'll guarantee this: the Bears can beat anyone that they play on this schedule. I will guarantee that. They'll beat anyone they play for the rest of the season and into the playoffs if they get there. The one thing I will not guarantee with the way the NFC is shaking out is that the Bears are going to be in the playoffs even if they win 11 games. You could see yourself on the outside with 11 fucking wins, and that is really hard to think about, and that would be hard to swallow. Get to 11 and see what happens. That would be a damn good season, right?
Yeah,
11 wins
from
in your
5
first
and 12
year with your head coach
to 11 and 6 is
and it just
but it would be heartbreaking.
Look at our future. Look at our future, man.
Yeah, don't even talk about
it.
Look what's
built here in Chicago.
But as Brandon said,
I can't
got matchups against teams that you can move out from in front of you just by beating them. It's within your control.
You beat the Niners, you're in good position.
Destiny. Go fucking take it. Go take it
if you beat the Browns and the Niners. You're looking good because that Niners team is chasing the Rams. So
you finish Green Bay, San Francisco, Detroit. You essentially are starting the playoffs right now.
I mean, this was a playoff game yesterday. That was a playoff game yesterday, and that game against Detroit might decide which one of those two teams ends up in the playoffs.
That's what I said.
Yep.
Ben's playing his old team. The script that might follow that game.
Thank you all. Love you all. Thanks for joining us tonight. I have to roll. These boys are going to stay and finish this up. I got to get to some family shit. Love y'all.
Sean, be good. Prayers for you and your family, my man. Seriously. I didn't know that. I'm sorry to hear that. Keep us updated on what's going on.
I'll talk to y'all about it. I usually keep shit in the house. I just lost it there for a second. I hate that shit. I hate when anyone talks about anybody's mother, man. It's just disrespectful.
I'm with you there.
Plain and simple.
Okay. Right. It's all good.
We'll talk to y'all, boys. Love y'all, man. Bear down.
Later. Bear down.
All right. So J2K. The chat, J2K joining us. J2K shouted us out on X. Let me just say this real quick because there was a post that Sean shared.
What's up, J2K?
About this involved J2K because I mean it was on X and it was asking like your favorite pods or something like that, Chicago Bears pods, and he listed us in his top 5 favorite. So I just want to say thank you for that. We're not out here for that reason, but when we hear people say that, when Bizzo last week shouted us out as he called out a Packers fan in the chat saying, you know, like how ironic it is that he's in here saying all we think about is the Packers while you're on one of the best Bears pods. Those types of things, they mean a lot to us, man. We appreciate y'all. We're just here trying to be ourselves and have fun with y'all and talk Bears the way we see it. So we appreciate that y'all appreciate it, and we appreciate you more than you could ever fucking know. So I just want to say thank you to you guys. Thanks for
100%, man. Honestly, guys, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't do this. We would have abandoned this project a very long time ago. But because of guys like you guys
do it just
and meeting guys, we would just do it at the bar with each other, right? Like, but because of guys like you guys in the chat, and because of guys like when it was Mikey showing up, J2K, what you said on us about Twitter, all the compliments.
Thanks for being here, bro.
Jordy, what you did today, man. All you guys put in the comments here, all the compliments. We appreciate you guys so much. That means a lot to us. Thank you.
One thing I wanted to talk about, guys, that hasn't been touched on yet enough.
Well, hold on. We love you, True Pilgrim. Sean, there clearly something happened there. There was some personal, but like we love you. Stick around.
True's been a great member of our chat for a
love,
long time. We appreciate you, and he always puts some good shit in there. He makes good points. He's accurate.
Yeah, for sure. We love you,
brother. True. Keep it going.
Keep it coming.
But Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet. This tight end duo had a hell of a game yesterday. Colston caught a touchdown. Cole Kmet made that big play down the sideline, almost had that touchdown to tie up the game, put the Bears in position to tie the game or take the lead. This two tight end set might be the best in the league, guys. I don't think you can overstate how much of a mismatch advantage it gives you on offense. And Brandon talked about earlier how much they're taking away from DJ in the middle of that field, but I don't think you want it any other way. These two tight ends are a nightmare.
It's not going to change.
Defense.
You're not going to remove Colston Love.
I just want to give them some props and hear what you guys have to say because I don't think a defense knows how to match up against these guys.
Go ahead.
Oh, Brendan, you go first. Sorry, man. I was
Thank you, Flex. We love you, brother.
Yeah, Dustin, I think this is the thing we were all most excited about in the offseason. I think this is the thing Ben Johnson wanted to provide or present to the opposing defense when he drafted Colston Love.
And it took a while to do that, right?
It's not just about the pick it's not about the player that Ben picked specifically, guys, Colston Loveland and himself or Tyler Warren or whoever it was. He wanted this dynamic. He wanted somebody to pair alongside Cole Kmet. He wanted the Bears to be lethal and having these two guys as extreme mismatches for most players in the NFL on the same field, and you're starting to see it's paying its dividends, man. And like I said, I wouldn't. It wasn't so much focused on the player that Ben Johnson loved most, which was clearly Colston Loveland, but the idea that he had with the two guys together wasn't really playing an impact early in this season, and you didn't feel like you ever really saw it all that much. And now that the offensive line is playing pretty stand-up football, and these guys have a little more room to roam, Ben is getting these guys clearly involved by intent, and they are doing what we thought they would do. Defenses just can't manage it.
Yeah, and I don't know necessarily if this is the best tight end duo in the NFL, but they certainly complement.
Name a better one.
I mean, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely is really good. Harold Fannin and David Njoku is going to be really good once Harold Fannin gets more.
When Kraft and Musgrave were both healthy.
Kraft and Musgrave, Brock Bowers, and
Kraft is really good.
Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer. I mean,
Musgrave balled out. Man.
I mean, Justin, if you try to make that argument to people outside of Chicago Bears fans, they'd be like, "What's Cole Kmet done this year? He has 220 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns." Like, I mean, but I understand what you're saying, and they complement each other very well. Listen, Cole Kmet does the nitty gritty, dirty stuff that you don't really see. You don't see it show up in the stat sheet.
Kmet's been
makes a lot of big
man. He's had some catches.
With the team massive, and then Colston Loveland's like the shiny new toy that's going to be the superstar at some point in the league, and he makes a lot. He's constantly finds himself open. He's a great route runner. He's physical. He's only going to get better. He's only going to get better. I mean, next year he's going to be fucking amazing in this offense. I mean, I agree with you, man. If you made me pick from any tight ends in the NFL, I would have no problem picking Cole Kmet and Colston Loveland. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to 12, 13 personnel constantly, you're going to need both these guys on the team, and that's why people keep saying that Cole Kmet might be traded. I mean, I understand the financial issues, but I would like to see him stay here, man. That's just, I would love to see what they could do next year in the second.
Yeah, you don't want to see them tear this down because, like as I was saying when Brandon was talking,
it hasn't paid off yet.
It took so long to start to get this going, and now you're starting to see it. Like the 12 personnel wasn't really working, and 12 personnel is becoming that. And as Carl pointed out, it can be deadly with a great O-line, great run game, and that 12 personnel, those 2 tight end sets, and it's really becoming like a huge advantage in the NFL for a lot of teams that are running really good offense. So if you let
running
go
the ball effectively does
out of it, because you can run or pass out of it. Because guess what? Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet are 2 fucking great blockers. Colston Loveland does not get enough credit for how good of a blocker he is. So, like, when you create that type of mismatch and unpredictability for the defense when you come out on offense, it's just something that it's a huge advantage. And yeah, if you move on from Cole Kmet, you're going to lose that depending on who you replace him with. When I talk about across the league, I just don't think there's a lot of tight ends like Colston Loveland out there that can do what he does once he starts really get going. And we're just at the inception of this. It's just starting. But also Cole Kmet is a guy that can beat safeties and linebackers as well. He can beat them. He can just flat out beat them.
He's got a knack for kind of just getting lost, man.
Yeah, real quick
really
update,
damn good at disguising himself.
Real quick update, guys. The Chargers are up 7-0.
Omarion Hampton.
Omarion Hampton scored a touchdown
on my fantasy team. His first week back in 2 fucking months. This has fucked me all year. I need him back, and I need this. I think I make the playoffs.
You know what's funny
no matter
is
what, I think I make the playoffs.
What's funny is Hampton scored the 4-yard touchdown on a run, but Kaimani Vidal has 1 catch for 60 yards.
1 catch for 60 yards. Omarion Hampton caught a pass for the touchdown. It was a catch.
Oh yeah, it was a catch. One reception for 4 yards.
It was a 4.
Yeah, I like Omarion Hampton a lot. Hopefully he can. That Chargers team has been very.
Love
consistent.
you, Shorty. Thank
Hopefully
you.
he can get him kind of back on the right track because they've been very inconsistent this year.
What else about this game really stood out to you guys, man? I mean, we talked about the issues on defense. We taled about offense. What are we looking at here?
We didn't mention. I think Jalen Johnson and TJ Edwards guys were both kind of a shell of themselves. They didn't look like they were necessarily ready to play football, and I think that's going to change, obviously, in the next couple of weeks here when these guys are getting more snaps, more reps on the field. I'm not the version of we were talking about how good this defense can be when the guys come back to health, and obviously we're still missing Gordon, but I don't think the version of the defense we saw yesterday against Green Bay, I don't think that's the Jalen Johnson, TJ Edwards impacted defense we should expect to see moving forward. I think it will improve. And Dustin, like you said, tackling's not a big problem for these guys. Dennis Allen doesn't deal with that shit. That's bullshit. It's not going to happen for very long. So
yeah, it was a huge problem yesterday, Brandon. It was the biggest problem of the game for that defense.
It's the first time all year they've done it. They've been pretty sound.
But yeah, Jalen Johnson and TJ Edwards are knocking off the rust. Clearly, it's going to take a little bit of time, and also
snap counts.
Jalen Johnson and in particular, in terms of getting used to his role in this defense and what Dennis Allen's asking him to do, because it's completely different than what he's been in previously. But I mean, how much time do you have for that, Kyle? because right now you're playing playoff games, like we just said. You can't have that at the expense of your games.
Yeah, it's tough because you're in the thick of it here. But I mean, I don't know if they have an option, guys. I mean, Gardner Johnson did not look good yesterday. Jaquan Brisker can't cover to save his life. So I mean, all they can hope for is that T.J. Edwards and Jalen Johnson continue to knock the rust off at a quicker pace. Because right now, I think if you don't have Kyler Gordon out there, you need Jalen, and you need Jalen to be Jalen.
Yeah, man, and we talked about it yesterday. Like this defense, as it's currently comprised with when we thought Kyler Gordon was going to be back, and you got Jalen Johnson back, and you got T.J. Edwards back, it's a completely different defense than what we have seen all year. So that could be an advantage for the Bears as they get healthy down the stretch. But we also didn't really think about the fact that maybe they're just not ready to play yet still. Like they could be healthy, but they're not ready to play yet. And that's what you saw yesterday. What it looked like.
Well, Carl, and you know what, Carl, it's not going to be the best defense in the NFL, but at no point this year has Jalen Johnson, T.J. Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds, and Kyler Gordon played together. And that is the heart of the Bears defense. That along with Montez Sweat, those are the guys they decided to extend. They extended Montez Sweat, they extended Jalen Johnson, they extended Kyler Gordon, and they extended T.J. Edwards. And obviously they give the huge contract to Tremaine Edmonds. I mean, you are talking about literally the best players on the Chicago Bears defense, and not one of them has played consistently throughout the entire season. I mean, I guess Tremaine Edmonds played the first 8, but now he's on long-term IR. I mean, before we judge this defense as a whole and give them a grade on, let's see them for one game healthy. Like,
but we might never see that. Kyle, yeah, I mean, we might still got to beat these teams. We might not. They still got to find a way to get the win.
I'll tell you this: for how many injuries the Bears have sustained on the defense side of the football, I think they've done a damn good job plugging holes, man. You guys, 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, the two Bears linebackers had over 30 tackles, and they're two guys nobody ever heard of before: DeMarco Jackson and Amen Ogbon.
Yeah, DeMarco Jackson was bad yesterday too.
Yeah, he looked like DeMarco Jackson.
Yeah, well, he looked like a practice squad player.
And Kyle, the Band-Aids.
And this right here, Stevenson was missed yesterday. Stevenson is a huge deal right now.
Yeah, he was. And the Band-Aids,
the Band-Aids still better than I think he's going to have a better career than Deshaun Wright. That's just me.
The Band-Aids that crazy statement.
The Band-Aids that Ryan Poles has slapped on this defense, and Deshaun Wright and C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and all of these guys that he's signed that have Brian
Band-Aids got ripped off yesterday.
Ryan Poles has done a good job though of putting players on this team that can do enough to help them win, which they have. C.J. Gardner-Johnson's got a couple of sacks. He took the ball away. I mean, these guys have made impacts in helping the Bears win their football games. So I think Ryan Poles has done a fair job at getting talent mid-season to make up for the injuries that they've clearly suffered.
Speaking of Ryan Poles and getting talent, Brandon, Jaquan Brisker, Javon Dexter, two guys that stood out yesterday as having some rough games. They're being brought up in the chat right now. Jaquan Brisker, especially. These are guys that you got to decide if you're re-signing this year.
Oh, I'm not signing Brisker. Not a chance.
Okay, let's ask. I'm just go around. Dexter and Brisker. Put it on the table. Do you want these guys back on the team?
I mean, I'm signing Dexter according. I mean, based on how much. I mean, if he wants to get paid like a superstar, no, I'm not resigning.
$12 million a year, $13 million a year, $15
I think Dexter's a damn good rotational piece. I think you guys had one bad game. That's like everybody's here destroying him. Dexter's actually had a pretty damn good season. I think he's got 6 sacks at the defensive tackle position. That's not terrible.
Well, he's got 4. He's got 4. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he constantly creates pressure. It's really good at tackles for loss. I mean, Dexter is one of those guys who's not a superstar, but he plays well when he's put in the right position. Brisker, Brisker's a handicap, guys. Brisker's a handicap.
He's a handicap in coverage. He's great against the run, and he's great at blitzing. But when you have him in coverage,
he cannot be in coverage. He is absolutely cannot. And there's going to be times where Brisker's going to have to be in coverage. So until he can improve that, if he can't, no way in hell am I resigning Jaquan Brisker. Not a chance in hell, guys.
Listen, the Dexter thing to me is if you can sign a guy. Well, now Grady Jarrett's going to be here for a while. Didn't they give him 3 years?
Well, I mean, you can get out of it.
They front loaded the contract, so they could.
But if you can draft a guy like a impact, like a monster, a game wrecker, if you can get your hands on something like that at the position that Javon Dexter plays, the 3 technique, I'm moving on from Dexter. For sure. I want a guy there, man, who's not week in and week out. I want a guy there who's
so right now, guys, with his 5, he has 5 sacks. Javon Dexter has 5 sacks right now. That puts him in 9th.
5, yeah, I thought so too.
I thought it was 5 too, but then I looked and it was 4. So I mean, like it's jumped up and down. He didn't.
I'm on PFF, so I don't know if
PFF gave him a 5, and then
they also
ESPN has him at 4. So
5.5. I thought
they also have him at 28 total pressures, which should put him 20th out of all defensive tackles out of 100. And
Dexter has been better than people.
168.
but he
No,
has
at
not
He's
been
127.
terrible against the run.
Yeah, and he's much better against the pass rush. But and it was brought up he has one more year on his rookie contract. So does Tyreek Stevenson. But I believe, but both of these guys, you're gonna have to make decisions on them this year. You are like you.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't.
You need to
It's
make sure.
strange
Like, if
to
you're
me.
keeping
It's
these
strange
guys.
to me that Trevon Dexter has this one game where he kind of sticks out to you. He didn't really have all that great of a game. And I'm not talking about you guys. I'm seeing on Twitter and Facebook, people are like, "Get this guy out of here!" Like, guys, we've been saying nothing but positive things about Trevon Dexter all season until yesterday, and all this. It was one bad game, and it's like, this guy sucks. He's done. I'm done with him. He's in a handicap.
No,
Like,
people were saying
don't
that
think
going
so.
into this game, Kyle. Too. People were down on Dexter. I
think
would
Trevon-
re-sign Dexter. Me and Brandon argued a little bit. We argued a little bit about this on
Dexter
Thursday.
is better than people give him credit for. I mean, is he a superstar in the NFL? No. Is he a good, damn good rotational piece in your defensive line? Yes.
I agree, though.
Definitely.
You got to draft a defensive tackle in this draft, and you got to draft a safety. I thought they needed to draft a safety and a defensive tackle in this last draft. They went offense, and they did what they did, and it's paying dividends. You got an offensive head coach, makes sense. But you clearly need to address this defense because, yes, if they're not getting turnovers, they are allowing yards. They're getting gashed in the run. They're getting gashed with the pass, and they're giving up points.
It also takes defensive tackles
teams in the NFL.
Guys, it also takes defensive tackles a very long time to get comfortable in the NFL. Mason Graham looks like shit. Kenneth Grant looks like shit. What's his name on the Cardinals? When he has played, when he has been healthy, he hasn't been great.
Mason Graham's had a pretty good year, I think.
You're talking about Walter Nolan?
Mason Graham has been a liability.
These guys are all rookies, though, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Dexter's in his third year.
Yeah, but he's in a new scheme, on a new defense. It's not the same thing. Like, I'm saying defensive ends. You guys, I'm not making this up. You guys can look this up. Defensive tackles, statistically, you can look it up, take the longest of rookies when they're drafted in the NFL to adjust to the NFL. There's not any defensive tackles. Very rarely do defensive tackles have really good seasons. Really good seasons. Very rare. Very rare.
I think you need an upgrade at the defensive tackle position. I'm not saying replace Dexter because I want to keep Dexter, but I'm saying add to this rotation and upgrade this defensive tackle rotation. You need a stud. You need a stud in the middle.
They did draft.
I think everybody Bears fan and
Turner might end up moving to defensive end.
I think every Bears and every executive and every Bears fan and every Bears player know that right now the Bears' weakest link is their defensive line. If you look at that team on paper, the weakest link for the Chicago Bears right now is the defensive line. It's not even a question. There's not even anything that's comparable to being what's the runner-up to the second? What's the second weakest position on the Bears?
Kicker?
Well, you'd be talking about special teams, kicking, punting, long snapper. But that's what I'm saying, man. Like if you said secondary, not even close to defensive line. If you said safety,
I think safety is a concern, Kyle. Because
you're talking about those expiring contracts. You're not talking about the guys who are
into a contract year.
Kevin
Byard, Brisker, who we're not sure about.
Kevin Byard might be an All-Pro, guys.
Okay, no, I totally understand that. He's played great this year, but is he a part of
leading the league in interceptions?
Is he a part of your future? I don't know.
I think they're going to extend him. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I do too.
But like you got to draft the guy to step into that
because he's a captain. That's why
they're going to draft a safety. There's no doubt in my mind. They're going to draft a safety. It's going to be like a third-round pick, and that's usually where good safeties come out of the draft.
I think Byard stays because he's a captain.
It's defensive end, and it's defensive end. It's defensive tackle. It's safety. I think those are the three that you really have to address in this draft.
Defensive line, and the only reason safety's in there for me right now is because they're both their starting safeties are on expiring contracts. Outside of that, I mean, if you told me Byard and Brisker to be here next year, I'd say the Bears safety situation is not that bad. The only thing is Byard just has that one. You can't let him cover athletic tight ends. He can't. He can't do it.
Or Christian Watson. You can't let him cover Christian Watson.
Yeah, or the fastest receivers in the NFL. Yeah, he can't cover those guys either.
Yeah, please.
Will Ozzie Trapillo do enough to prevent the Bears from spending a high draft capital?
I was just going to say that, Brandon, when you mentioned left tackle. I think
he's
doing it right now.
The future of the Chicago Bears left tackle,
whether
we like it or not.
So we can absolve ourselves of wasting a pick on that.
I think they love him.
He finally hit it.
We've talked about running back. We've talked about left tackle. Those are two positions that we had concerns about going into the season, and I think those concerns have been alleviated enough that you don't have to spend high draft capital on those positions.
I agree.
When you're looking at Ozzie Trapillo, when you're looking at
Trapillo is only going to get better.
Ben Johnson can do
playing very well.
Game.
He's only going to get better. He's playing
give Dennis Allen some.
I think sky's the limit for Ozzie Trapillo, man. I think sky's the limit for Ozzie Trapillo.
This draft, this offseason needs to be focused highly on fixing the defensive side.
I think I think that was the plan. I think the plan was to take as many excuses away from Caleb Williams and make him as comfortable as he possibly can. Bring in Ben Johnson and address the offensive line. You go add two more weapons in the first two rounds of the draft. And I think they're like, all right, now that we see that this Ben Johnson, Caleb Murray just start to get better every week, and this offense is going to be dangerous, and they're top 10 in scoring, let's go address the defensive side of the ball. But I think they were more worried about Caleb Williams going into 2025. I think that was the right thing to do.
And you see teams that have this quarterback coach connection on the offensive side of the ball, they end up focusing on defense a lot in the draft. You see the Bills do it with Josh Allen. You see the Chiefs do it with Patrick Mahomes. You see the Eagles do it with Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. So, like, that's going to be their plan this offseason. I don't doubt that. But special teams, as Vizzo brings up here, has been a concern all season. He says Ben seemed pissed about special teams. Hightower might be gone. Hightower is gone already. I just don't think he knows it yet. We've been saying this for a couple months now, man. The special teams was a problem yesterday, I think. I mean, Cairo's still coming through, but like, I think Hightower, I don't like the holdovers from
you guys know. I don't like being that guy who's like, I said so. I don't give a shit. I'm not looking for credit, but you guys know I've not liked Hightower since the day they signed. I do not like that guy.
Yeah, and it's not been
absolutely do not like it.
Before we move off the
draft,
did
not make an impact in that game yesterday.
Before we move off,
one of Devin Duvernay's kick returns was the worst thing I've ever seen him. I looked at Sean. That's the worst kick return I've ever seen.
Defender.
Yeah, but he ran right into them.
One thing I want to say about the draft,
he had 2 open holes and he ran right into a pile. I'm like, Devin, what are you doing, bro? Like,
we just lost to the team that you lost to on Thanksgiving. We both just lost 2 weeks in a row to the Packers. So I mean, last year don't really matter. It's this year. We got you guys week 18. We'll see how it goes. And we got the Packers in 2 weeks. But we're happy you're here, man. We love you. The Lions have been good for 2 years. Okay, just chill. It's not. They're not like the toast of the NFC North. I'm sorry. I just had to throw that in there.
There's a chance they do consider trading a first-round pick for a guy like Max Crosby, Carl. I think that's now that they feel like that this team is ready to win.
I was going to say,
and they're only missing that one star. They might
fuck your draft pick.
Kyle,
get a player.
I think they should take some draft capital and trade high. This is a strong class of edge rushers, but you're not going to touch one where the Bears are going to finish in this draft. I think you take some draft capital.
Thank you, brother.
And you get up there and you get one of these guys who makes an impact on the edge. And even if you can't get a bunch of pieces, just go get that one fucking wrecker. Man, you know what I mean?
They're just few and far between, Brandon. What do you see, Kyle, that's making you laugh?
He says, Jed says, no way a Lions fan is trying to call anyone little brother. Is this your third year watching football?
Yeah, no, I keep making this point. I've been watching football my whole goddamn life.
I'm sorry, T. I love you, man. But the Lions have been the laughing stock of the league for 40 years, man.
Lose on Thanksgiving.
You guys got to be good for at least 10 years before you start.
Yeah, the arrogance that Lions fans come with after 3 okay years is just ridiculous.
Not to mention, man, they don't look very good this year either.
They're
very inconsistent.
Listen, they're a tough team, and I'm worried about them.
I like the Lions roster. I like Jahmyr Gibbs. He's one of my favorite players in the NFL. And obviously missing Amon Ra for that one game against the Packers and all. But at the end of the day, man, until you guys win like multiple playoff games or Super Bowl, I don't know, man.
Yeah, you can't come with that attitude.
No, a Super Bowl guy. You gotta they've had with the first ranked offense that they've had year in and year out. You got to be winning Super Bowls
last year, man. That's not good.
Yeah, it's not looking good in the NFC North right now either. No. And Vizzo's asking a question about what we were just talking about. So let's just throw this question out and get back to that conversation. Question: why not trade for a proven pass rusher instead of praying a defensive end from the draft hits?
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. You might have to, because if the Bears think they can win a Super Bowl next year, do they have time to develop a defensive end? Maybe not. They might have to get a really good class. They might have to get a Max.
There's like 5 or 6.
It's going to take time for them to develop.
They're going to be at the top of this draft, Brandon. They're not going to.
I know. That's what I just said. You're going to be out of it. And I hope that Ryan Poles is aggressive. If he needs to go from 21st to 11th, I hope he does.
Guys, I'm also not out on Austin Booker.
Create culture.
I am not out on Austin Booker. I don't think
Austin Booker has been playing really well, man. If you watch him against the run, the pressure he's getting,
I'm saying though, I think even the sack numbers will go up.
But Austin Booker has not been so good that you don't need another.
No, absolutely not. But Austin Booker also was drafted a year early. He shouldn't have been drafted. He should have stayed at Kansas for another year and developed a little bit more. Now they changed his entire. What did they add? Like 12 pounds to him this year. He's playing.
He's beefed up. He's still got his speed.
Second year in the NFL. He's playing a completely different scheme than he was last year with a brand new coach. I'm not saying they shouldn't draft a pass rusher, because they should, but I still think Austin Booker could be heavily involved in a rotation. for Chicago. I think he's a good player.
I would be all for trading for a proven defensive end if one is available. The problem is they are few and far between, and when they do exist,
I don't know, guys.
Teams know they exist. The teams that have them already, and they don't want to get
the Raiders.
The Raiders
might start burning that shit down, guys.
Listen,
it is
you
worst
can get
case
a
scenario
Crosby,
in Vegas, man.
fucking go for it. If you got to give up your first round pick,
guys, that is a disaster.
I really am.
It's a disaster. And Trey Hendrickson's going to be free agent, no?
Yeah, but he's injured. Some injury he should have gotten
you
surgery
could trade for Crosby and he can get injured, man. You don't
some injury he should have gotten surgery on against the Packers a couple weeks ago when he got injured against Green Bay. He chose not to do the surgery.
Listen, I agree with
it got
everything.
Much worse.
Everybody's, you guys, defensive
like
end,
that.
after you fix the offensive side, you get that left tackle, you get that stud receiver, and you get your quarterback. Defensive end is the most important position.
Booker won multiple reps yesterday, J2K. Go back and watch the film, man. He had a few good ones in the run.
He's also very good against the run, man.
And yeah, he's great against the run yesterday. And he also he beat his guy in the second half, right to start the second half that led to that one of those 3 and outs. He got pressure on Jordan Love and made him throw a shit ball. Austin Booker won some snaps yesterday, and he continues to.
We had a huge play on the run.
He's had at least one huge massive tackle.
If you look at his win rate, it's been the best on the Bears defensive line since he came back.
And he blew up Josh Jacobs, and that does require winning on a play. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he beat his guy running back in the backfield. You still got to beat the guy across from you.
Carl says Raiders will be a fire sale. Trust me. Is this Tom Brady checking in?
I agree 100%. I agree 100%.
Listen, 100%. I'm all for it. That Raiders, and if Max Crosby is out there, you need to make a play for him because had the Bears made a play for somebody like that in this offseason, this defense would look completely different. One player can change your defense in a major way.
Yeah, and I understand why
kind of player.
And I understand why they didn't, but I agree that if you feel like you win a Super Bowl next year and Caleb's going to take leaps and bounds and this offense is going to be unstoppable, then if I'm the Bears, I'm going to get a proven guy, not a guy I have to take a chance on in the draft and develop, especially if you're drafting in the 20s. 25, 26, 27. I would
you're not drafting a star there.
You guys, the Raiders absolutely need to blow that thing. They have to blow it up. They need to spend money in the offensive line. They need to get rid of Geno Smith. I mean, they're years away from competing for a Super Bowl. Why would you keep Max Crosby on the team? Unless you're just trying to sell tickets, that doesn't make sense.
For sure. And let's talk about what a difference 13 games makes, because a lot of people in this offseason were saying the Bears shouldn't give up draft capital for one of these guys. The conversation about Myles Garrett.
I was just going to say the Raiders could be good by next year.
The conversation about, it could change for them next year, but look where it changed for the Bears this year.
Quarterback in the NFL.
Look where it changed for the Bears this year, because there were fans that didn't want to do that going into this season, just a month or two before the season started. And now we're 13 games into the season. It's like, if we just had one of those guys, this defense would be very different and we would be that much more competitive. So the Bears have accelerated their timeline to where it makes sense to make that trade for a guy like that if the opportunity is out there.
Yeah, I think the Bears did. I think they did it. I think they did it right, guys. I think they put a lot of money into the offensive line, which is great because the Bears now have one of the best offensive lines of football. They used 3 of their first picks in the draft on a tackle, a wide receiver, and a tight end. So they've given Caleb a ton of weapons. They brought Ben Johnson here. I think this next year, like Dustin said earlier, they did it exactly right. Make sure your quarterback's comfortable, then go build your defense. I think that's exactly what the Bears' plan was the entire time, and I love the fact that they did that because I want to see Caleb succeed before I worry about anything else on the field. I want to make sure that Caleb is comfortable and looks like a franchise quarterback. And now that you know he is, now it's time to go give him a defense. Now it's time. And the Bears are going to probably, if they have 7 draft picks next year, I bet you 5 of them are going to go into the defense.
I think Gentry's on.
I think heavy draft.
I think Gentry's on that list too.
Yeah, no, he said he would trade Genty too. I mean, you haven't given Genty any opportunity.
Yeah, how can you critique Genty?
He's been behind one of the worst offensive
linemen. How can you
evaluate a player
moving on?
Yeah, how can you
evaluate his yards before contact are so low?
Dude, sometimes his yards before. Some games his yards before contact have been negative.
Yeah, non-existent.
Negative. Yes. He doesn't get to the line of scrimmage before he's getting hit. I'm not going to evaluate Ashton Genty beyond one of the worst offensive lines I've ever seen play football.
Especially running, Kyle.
Now,
the worst rush.
I do agree that's a bad. I do agree it's a bad pick, but not because of Genty. Because I think the Raiders needed an offensive line more than they needed a running back. And we've talked about this, guys. What's the point of drafting a running back if his first 2 or 3 years on the team are going to be wasted by poor offensive line play? You just wasted 2 or 3 years of his career.
Yeah,
Well,
and
you
the
can say
average running back's lifespan is like 3 years.
3.5 years, yeah. But and you can say, Carl, that there's no point to have a Genty when you have that bad of an O-line. Well, if you had that guy in front of you this year and you needed to take him because he's that talented, you figure out the O-line. I think that's probably their plan. They're going to impact their offensive line in a major way this year. I think a lot of teams saw what the Bears did to their offensive line this year and are seeing the effects of that. And that's going to get copycatted big time in this offseason. You're going to see teams make huge plays to fix their offensive line. The Raiders will be one of them, especially with Pete Carroll as their head coach, guys. They're not rebuilding. The Raiders are not rebuilding.
Has been a part of this twice.
And if the Raiders do address the offensive line, Ashton Genty's going to look a lot better.
That's worth mentioning. He will. That's worth mentioning, guys.
Well, it's not about rebuilding. It's about insufficient foundation. You're gonna have to start moving parts around because they're not gonna have money to go sign 5. They're not gonna have money. They're not gonna have money to go buy the five best offensive linemen in free agency. They don't have that money. They just gave Max Crosby $40 million a year, and they gave Geno Smith what, 20?
Yeah, but 25? The Geno contract they can get out of pretty quickly.
Ryan Poles,
I hope so.
That was a part of the Chiefs team that did that as well.
Yeah, Poles knows what he's doing for sure. That's a good point, Brandon. J2K says a first and a third and DJ Moore for Max Crosby. James Crystal threw out a first and Tremaine Edmonds for Max Crosby. I like both of those guys. Thank you for checking in with that. But yeah, I mean, if there's a guy out there, it's worth doing it. It's better than taking a crapshoot in the draft when you might not have that good of a pick this year, depending on where you finish this season.
I will say this, guys.
But you've accelerated a timeline where it makes sense.
I will say this, guys. I know that Tremaine Edmonds has not been amazing since he signed with the Chicago Bears, but he was on pace to being all pro this season under Dennis Allen. So you might want to hang on to that guy.
Now, and listen, but if you can trade an outside linebacker in for a fucking impact defensive end, Kyle, you do it every day.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, I would try to find a way to keep both because you're taking away parts off your defense that have been your best parts of your defense to add to your defense. It may improve your defense, but it's not going to improve it enough to the point where you're going to be like a Super Bowl caliber defense. You need to keep both. If you find a way to keep both those guys, you look a lot better.
No doubt, but I'm just saying, if it were to come down to that, and that's what the Raiders wanted, you fucking do it, though, right?
I don't think. Yeah, I mean, it would.
You do it, right?
I know. Yeah, 100%.
The scenario in which they're saying the key piece of this trade is
I don't think that's
a will linebacker. But
what would that do for the Raiders? Like, I don't think that would do anything. I think they want
the Raiders actually have some decent linebackers.
They want young talent. That's what they want. They want draft capital and young talent. That's what they want. They want young talent and draft capital because they're going to try to build this team around Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty. That's what they're going to do.
What if they wanted DJ Moore and Tyreek Stevenson and a first round pick?
That's a gimme.
That's too.
That's a gimme.
That's a lot.
For Max Crosby, I'm giving that shit up all day. For
Carl says I give them whatever they want in your shoes, and he's a guy who roots for the Packers. It seems like so he understands what adding a guy like that to your defense does in terms of
Carl brings up Mac and Peppers, but Mac didn't do much for the Bears. I mean,
Peppers wasn't a trade. Peppers wasn't a trade,
but he didn't win a Super Bowl for us.
Lovie Smith was knocking on Peppers' door at midnight on the first day of tampering. Like he was a free agent. That's a little different when you're talking about giving up capital and assets on top of then having to pay the guy like they did with Montez Sweat, because like you put yourself in a position where you're going to have to pay them the most that they can get because they got you over a barrel like Montez Sweat did. So it's a little different in that.
Really, Montez Sweat? No, it's going to be his second year in the Bears with double-digit sacks. So.
Yeah, and James says, yeah, but you need to unload your salary cap to be able to sign Crosby. Edmonds released $15 million next year. So I mean, like, they're going to have to do a lot with their cap just to field the team, regardless of adding a guy like Max Crosby. Taking on that.
Yeah, I've been talking about that for 6 weeks now, 8 weeks now, guys. They are right now are projected to be $2 million over the salary cap. Now, obviously, the salary cap is going to go up. We projected to go up around $18 million, like it does every year, $12 to $18 million somewhere in there. So they're going to have more space. But the Bears are going to have to find a way to get rid of one of these contracts. One of the contracts on this team, a DJ Moore type contract, one of these contracts is going to have to be dumped if the Bears want to make actual substantial moves in free agency or try to take on a salary of Max Crosby. I think most of what the Bears are going to do this offseason is going to be done in the draft.
Yeah, it's going to have to be, it seems like, unless you can finagle some things, which, as Carl says, the salary cap isn't real. There are ways to work around it, and Poles
it's cash over cap. If you use cash over cap and the owner is willing to pay these guys cash out of his own pocket, then you can do whatever you want. But George McCaskey hasn't shown that he's that type of owner.
Do you think getting rid of Cole Kmet,
things are changing at Halas Hall, Kyle. They are.
For sure.
Do you think getting Cole Kmet and DJ Moore's contracts out?
But they also have to spend they have to spend $4 billion on a stadium. Remember that, guys.
Yeah. Well, that's not going to be all their own money. They're going to get a lot of help with the funding.
Wouldn't Cole Kmet be on that list, that hit list?
Yes.
Cap?
Yeah, probably Cole Kmet. I think Cole. If you're talking about
that's you're freeing up $9 million. Yeah,
Yep,
you
yep.
If you're talking about the cap list, I think he's somewhere near the top when you're talking about who you're willing to move on from.
J2K asked, was the Mac trade worth it? Kyle, I think you were getting to that and kind of saying it wasn't.
For me, I just don't. I think to make a trade like that, you need a franchise quarterback, guys. That's for me personally. To make a trade like that, you need a franchise quarterback.
Well,
but do you believe that we have that right now?
Yes.
Franchise quarterback?
Yes.
But it was Mitch Trubisky. I mean, people believed in him.
Yeah, and Mitch Trubisky wasn't going to bring you to the.
I didn't think so.
What was the point of adding Mac? You're just wasting 4 years of Mac and money and more money. Like if you have a guy who you believe can win a Super Bowl like Caleb Williams, which I think the Bears believe he can win a Super Bowl. I think they're all in on Caleb Williams. Then it's time to go get the Caleb Williams of the defense. Now it's time. Now you need one on each side.
Scottish says, and they are probably going to pay Wright. I don't know about that. I mean, Wright might have played himself.
I don't think so. I don't think they're going to pay Wright, guys. Yeah, I don't think they are going to pay Wright. I think they like Tyreek.
I don't know if you want to re-sign CJ Gardner-Johnson either. I don't know if that.
Not after yesterday. I don't, dude.
But you don't want to make decisions off of one game. CJ's been really, really fucking good for this.
CJ's really good against the run, but man, his coverage is sketchy.
Well, he was put in some bad situations. I think Dennis Allen put these defensive backs in some tough situations.
I think Deshaun came. Cliff, I think
they picked the wrong matchups at the wrong times.
Cliff, I think Deshaun came back on the field. I think he's all right. I think he just got kicked in the face.
Yeah, listen, guys, he got kicked in his lip was bleeding.
We're at 2 hours right now. We got the Monday Night Football going on. This was a hell of a game yesterday. I think the Bears showed exactly
nothing to be
what
ashamed
we wanted
of,
them to show. I feel great, as good as I can feel about a loss, considering the way they came back into that game. What are our closing thoughts on this? Anything else we want to get out there? Because I'm just looking forward to this week. And we got a lot of content coming up. Wednesday, the Barely There will be here previewing the game. Me and Brandon on Thursday for the bare minimum. Thursday night, previewing that game. Sunday morning, we'll have our pregame show like we have been. And that's
I like my final thought.
A lot of fun. So
I like what Brandon said earlier, man. The Bears, they've been doing a lot of winning. So it's time to show us what you do and how do you respond to a loss. So go out there and beat the shit out of that shitty Browns team that can't beat anybody. They just lost to the Titans, guys. To the Titans. They lost to the Titans.
Yeah, they were a 2-point conversion away from tying up that game.
They don't need to go out there and be competitive and steal one in the fourth.
Listen, I know their defense is going to give the Bears trouble, but the Bears defense should dominate Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah,
sorry. He wasn't talking about Nashawn Wright, Scottish. He was talking about Darnell Wright. Of course you you got to re-sign Darnell.
Yeah,
Wright.
Darnell Wright is probably their first priority.
Sorry, Scottish. We misunderstood you. There's a couple right. This is the
Darnell
right.
Darnell Wright has a 5th-year option, guys. He's a first-round pick.
Yeah. You're going to take that 5th-year option and you're going to stretch that out a little bit and move on from there. Hopefully restructure some stuff and then sign.
Yeah, and then the salary cap will gone up. The salary cap will have gone up.
Starts, right?
The salary cap will have gone up twice by the time you extend it.
Carl says, yeah, who would lose to the Browns? I mean, the Packers would on the road. Yeah, that was a crazy game. But, I mean, this Bears team is at home. They've been really good at home. This Browns team is very beatable. They will make mistakes.
I was starting to buy in on the Browns a little bit when they were giving everybody, but they lost to the Titans, man. That's not the Titans are not a good football team. They're not.
Shedeur looked good in that game.
I know Cam Ward's playing better. I know that. I understand that. But you guys, the Titans are not a good football team. There's a reason they're 2 and
those were 2 really bad teams playing each other, Kyle, and it turned into a shootout.
And the Browns were the worst of the 2.
So I just told you. I told you.
You go beat the Browns. You beat the Browns.
Judkins.
And the Bears guys have 3 of their next 4 games at home. So this should be. They should win a majority of these games.
And guys, 91% of Quinshon Judkins' yards come after contact. That's not a good stat.
One play.
That's not a good stat.
No, and listen, that Browns team, that Browns defense is really good.
Their offensive line is trash.
It's not good, and Shedeur Sanders is getting better week by week as I expected, and it's not going to be an easy win. I'm sorry, it's just not. None of these wins are going to.
Myles Garrett.
None of these wins or losses. None of these games are going to be easy games. Myles Garrett can destroy this.
But you got to respond.
Make life hell. You 100% do, and that's your key takeaway from this right now is.
Get the ball.
Got to get your shit together and respond
guys,
this week.
My takeaway is, like Kyle said, I don't think you go out there and you compete and you do the steal it all at the end thing that you've been doing. Get pissed off. Go out against this Browns team at home.
Force 3 3-and-outs.
Take the ball away a bunch of times from a rookie quarterback who's only played a handful of starts in his career, and just put this thing away early, man. And feel good about going into the next week against your division rival again. You know what I mean? And if Green Bay loses to Denver and you beat the brakes off the Browns, you're going to feel entirely different for that Packers game 2 weeks from now. Man.
Well, this is really important, Brandon, because like you don't want to look past the Browns because you just had a hell of a game against the Packers where
you're
you
not
guys
gonna because you just lost.
I'm just saying, Brandon, like that you don't want to look past them because you just were in a fist fight for the entire time with that Packers team, and you want to get your revenge, and you look past this Browns team that week in between. You got to stay focused this week for sure. But yeah, I want the Packers back. I want the Packers again. I want them in Chicago. I want to see what this Bears team can do if they come out and start the game the way they finished that game and play that way the whole fucking time. I want to see what this team looks like putting 60 minutes of good football together, not just 20 minutes here and 30 minutes there. This team needs to be fucking prepared. And yes, I want to see it this Sunday against the Browns, a team that you should beat easily if you play your best game. This team needs to figure out how to do it for 60 minutes. It starts with Ben Johnson. It starts with Caleb Williams. It starts with that fucking defense making tackles, man, and not pussyfooting around. This team could have won that game yesterday, and I think they should have. It was damn close. I'm happy. I'm proud of them. I'm happy with the result in terms of where the Packers are versus where the Bears are, the fact that they were on the road. But at the end of the day, the Bears had a chance to take that thing, and they couldn't. So, like, I want another crack at it because this Bears offensive line is the best unit in fucking football. They dominated that Packers defense in that second half, and I want to see them do that to this Browns defense this week. But that's easier said than done. That Browns defense is really good, man. I love this team. I love the way they're playing. I love their resiliency and their grit and their effort and their fucking discipline. They've cut down the penalties. They've picked up the run game. They got to figure out this pass game. There's so many things they got to put together to get a full 60 minutes. But if you see them do that, they will make the playoffs. If you see them don't, they might miss it, guys. That potential is real. And that's scary. That's a little scary given how this season is going.
Yeah, love you all, guys. Thank you so much in the chat. Carl, thanks for sticking around with us, man. Obviously, Packers fan, hanging out with Bears fans. We appreciate you.
The Hulkster.
And very active in the chat.
Oh, yeah, brother.
Man. AC Adam, obviously, J2K, Romy, all the usual suspects. Dante.
Shorty.
Shorty. Shorty, thanks for the 10 memberships. We appreciate that shit. Thank you so much, man. Jed, Mikey, thanks for showing up to the charity event we held 4 stars hosted yesterday. We appreciate it.
Mikey, good to see you.
So it's always nice to hang out with some of our
How'd that go yesterday, guys? Everything was good?
Smashing success, man. I think it's the most money we ever raised for charity. I think we raised about $500.
Nice. Very cool, man. I'm glad. I'm sorry I couldn't make it, but I was with y'all in spirit. I'm sure it was a blast.
Don't worry. I got your debit card. You definitely donated a lot of care. That $500 was just yours.
Love y'all. Appreciate you.
Start checking my bank.
We'll see you guys on Wednesday for the Barely There podcast, 7 p.m. Sean and I, as usual. Jason will be with us. We appreciate you guys.
Bears fans, don't hang your heads. This was a fucking hell of an effort by your team to get back in that game.
Don't lose faith.
But don't lose faith in Ben Johnson because of one game. This is not the same old Bears. It's not just, they're going to lose to the Packers. That was a game of matchups. The Bears picked some bad matchups in some bad spots. One thing we know about Ben Johnson, guys, he learns from his mistakes. No one's going to learn more from that game yesterday than Ben Johnson, and this team is going to be ready. I'm excited. Yep, that's going to trickle down to everybody. This is going to be a hell of a finish to the season, and 4-Star Chicago Sports is going to be here with you every step of the way. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Hit that like button on your way out if you have not already. Subscribe, share it with a friend, share it with a loved one. Tell them to go back and watch it. We have fun here. Come get in our chat because we'll shout you out. Appreciate y'all. Bear down.
Bear down.
Bear down.